Smashers of the world unite. Welcome to another episode of Supercast Brothers. I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister. And over there we have Mr. What is happening? He's
Hello,
big.
denizens of the earth. How are you?
You're too big.
Yeah, you don't need to point it out.
You can't be in Smash because you're too big.
Oh, well, I have greater aspirations anyway. I'm going to be in Garfield Kart.
Oh, okay.
Shrek Kart, actually, as well. Did they
Well,
announce any one of those at E3 2021?
they did, and you'll never believe the new guest character that's going to be in it.
Heihachi?
Heihachi from Tekken. Yeah, they decided, we don't want to put Heihachi in Smash, but we'll put him in Garfield Kart. Because why the hell not, right? So, yeah, E3 has come and gone. Kazuya has been added into Smash. He's in the game now, and we've gotten a chance to play with him a little bit. But we're going to be talking about, not just Kazuya, we're going to be dialing back a little bit, going to talk about E3, our reactions, our general thoughts, and everything, what our favorite reveals are, and then we're going to get into Kazuya himself, covering both our thoughts on his reveal and Sakurai Presents, and also our chance to get to play as him and see what he brought into Smash with him. So, Jonno,
Oh, yeah.
how you doing?
I'm doing well. I've magnified my mind and I've achieved greater heights than ever before
Oh,
over
really?
the interim. Yes. And my mind is projecting one statement into the universe.
Okay, what does your third eye say?
Do you see it? Do you feel
I
it in your
see
soul?
a little bubble on the magnifying glass.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's really for. It's kind of like a reverse image of what I'm seeing.
I feel like it's like a
Um,
focusing device for you.
kind of, but also not. It's
Hmm.
showing me something it's an upside down image. Anyway,
Is Pac-Man in the
so
clouds?
yes,
Is Rayman in the ice?
yes.
Oh my god, he's finally come to Smash. He's gonna break out of Final Destination, finally! Or the Battlefield. I don't know what it is. People are weird with their theories sometimes. Rayman's not in the guys,
They
people.
sure are.
He's not.
Oh, I have two mouths.
Okay, time to move the fuck on from that statement, because, no. So, kicking things off here, we'll just. E3. This is strangely, despite this being our second year Supercast Brothers, this is the first E3 that we've been able to cover because last year the world was on fire and we didn't have an E3, and it was odd because we've had one
Hmm.
every year except for the one year where we had like E for All and it did bad. Let's be real though.
Yeah.
When was the last time that between the two of us we thought we had an actually good E3 all around? Because I don't remember one.
Uh, all around, you mean like when Smash was the only thing that existed? I think that was pretty good for us.
I mean, honestly though, while I did like the Smash Ultimate E3, it was honestly a really bad E3 for Nintendo because they only catered to the Smash community, which for you and me, perfection. But for Metroid, Animal Crossing, Zelda, Mario, all those fans, Kirby, F-Zero, they
Hmm.
didn't get shit, and I got a feel for
F-Zero.
them.
Oh, they
They,
got they got Captain Falcon being chucked off a cliff this year.
they did. There was actually an interview that came out recently about how when a company had pitched some F Zero ideas to Nintendo and they were shot down.
Hmm.
Apparently, they were wanting like a hyper realistic F Zero, which is like I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Well, and they also had Steel Diver to their name, which I don't know about Steel Diver. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also the
Nonetheless.
people who made the original Star Fox.
Hmm. So that's true. I forgot all about that.
Yes, yes.
Where were they all those years?
Being fired from Nintendo.
Ah, that explains it. Just like you and I.
Yeah, because we totally worked for Nintendo, or did at some point. My uncle works at Nintendo, people. That's how I know that the next Smash Fighter is going to be Terry Crews.
Gonna be Blood Falcon.
Specifically, Old Spice Terry Crews.
Okay, I can get behind that.
The dancing pecs are a taunt.
Very good.
And a victory animation. And honestly, all of his moves.
Do they cause damage as a taunt?
150%.
Even as a victory pose, I would imagine.
But no knockback, so you can't KO.
Okay. We'll probably resolve that with a grab or like anything at that rate. So
throw a bomb on.
You're pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fine. It'll work. It's fine.
Like just like King Bob-omb.
Yes, who's in fucking Mario Golf now, which is honestly
the best part about Mario Golf.
One of the most interesting things with the new Mario Golf is King Bob-omb, and then the run around do whatever you want mode. Everything else about the game, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. I bought Aces eventually when all the DLC came out, and I can get it for $20 on eBay.
It's fair.
I'll kind of do the same here.
Yeah. I want there to be content in those games. Like, I loved the original Mario Tennis on Game Boy Color. That game was great. There was a fucking story mode to that shit. And it ended with like the ultimate tournament against Mario. He was the ultimate tennis champion, and you had to work your way up to fight him. That was awesome. That was just, I mean, we have some funky gimmicks, and then you just hit the ball. It's like, okay. I'm not paying $60 for that.
No. The story mode in Mario Golf, Mario Tennis now is a joke. Yeah. I mean, I would too, for the sake of online play, I guess, a few times. More or less. Yeah, we'll see where it goes over time. There's promise. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
As it goes for so many of Nintendo's online titles these days. With exception to Splatoon, which is good out the gate. Speaking of,
Splatoon 3 was not at E3. Very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I am ready to storm the castle and get my Splatoon 3 news, because what the fuck? I saw the theory that it might have originally been planned for E3, but because that's an E3 level announcement for sure. But they decided to do it in the direct they had a couple months beforehand. I guess because they had other things to show. Did they? Like that was Splatoon 3 announcement would have been on the same level as Metroid Dread. Which, speaking of, holy shit, Metroid Dread. What? It's been like, what, 15 years since it was first rumored to exist? And then it get canceled. And then the rumor that it's back. And then it gets canceled again. And I'm just like, hey, we finally figured it out. It's here. I'm like, oh my god. And like, when they were showing out the trailer for that, like, they're just showing Samus and it's like, all these robots and shit. I'm just like, oh shit, this is the Metroid game. Because there were rumors that there was a 2D Metroid game in the works. So it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is it. Awesome. We're not getting Prime 4 yet, but at least we've got this from Metroid fans. And I was like, and as we're watching, I was like, wait a minute. Is this Dread? There's no fucking way, right? And then the title screen comes up and it's like, holy shit. What? That thing was insane. Like, I'm not a Metroid player. I'm not. I think Metroid is pretty cool, but I am terrible at it. But just seeing Dread announcement, I was just like, Metroid fans, you finally have food. I feel for you.
Yeah.
You finally get to eat.
I mean, to think that it was in
F-Zero
development hell for 20 years. Yeah. And was never fully abandoned by Nintendo. I mean, holy cow.
I mean, it kind of was.
Yeah.
It was
I figured it would always be dead. Yeah.
Nintendo as a whole probably abandoned it, but the Metroid specific people were just like, man, we still have this cool idea we want to do. And they're doing it. Also, I love the suit. The suit's great.
Yeah, the suit is great.
I really want that to be the new suit for Smash moving forward. It's like, okay, we've seen enough of the Various suit. Can we have the Fusion suit, please? It's so much better looking. And it will just look way less bulky. If they can change Ganondorf's appearance every other Smash game, we can get a new look for Samus, please. And while you're at it, please retune her. She needs it.
I mean, they made Link's Breath of the Wild as default, too. So
yeah. I mean,
There's
Link
that.
has changed every time there's been a new Link.
Also
Except,
true.
well, no. I mean, we Smash 4 and Brawl Zelda characters have the same designs. They kept the Twilight Princess designs for Smash 4 instead of going to Skyward Sword.
Right. Right.
But, I mean, I think that's
Um,
okay.
yeah, it is. It is. The Sakurai's reasoning back then being that they looked more like fighters, which I mean, yeah, they do.
I
So
mean,
whatever.
I'm not a fan of his whole fighter argument in some cases. Like, okay, sure, Skyward Sword Zelda would not have fit well in Smash. This is a
Hmm.
true fact. And he was probably wanting to keep all three with the same design, I'm thinking. That's probably why he didn't do Skyward Sword, just because of purely Zelda. And while they could have come up with a Skyward Sword inspired design for Ganondorf,
Hmm.
having Skyward Sword Zelda would have been weird. But I
Hmm.
don't think that. I do think we could have had Breath of the Wild Zelda. I don't think that would have been a
Oh
problem
yeah.
at all. His whole thing about,
Hmm.
oh, she's a researcher, not a fighter. Captain Olimar is not a fighter. Sure, he can punch, but a punch does not a fighter make.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
um, Villager's not a fighter, and he said that in the past why he wasn't a
Villager
bro.
is an even
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
example. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. So yeah.
but
So it
that
goes.
said,
Um,
I do like the idea that with Ultimate, all the Zelda characters have a different style. Like they're all from a different game, and that's perfection. I still think we should have
yeah,
had a new Zelda fighter, but I love that they are all representing different areas of the franchise. That's such a good
I
idea.
agree because Zelda's an anthology series, and
Mm-hmm.
very few games in the series directly tie into one another.
Yep.
And so many of the games in the series are well loved and on equal playing fields amongst the fans. Um, so now you have that Ocarina of Time, but then you also have Breath of the Wild. You have A Link to the Past, which was wildly unexpected with Zelda.
Yeah.
Um, so that's really cool. That
The
is
only
really
thing
cool.
slightly off is that you have both Ganondorf and Young Link, and arguably Sheik, all representing Ocarina of Time. It's like, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah. Um, and they can remedy that by introducing more Zelda characters, which really is all they need at this point. Um,
yeah.
and
What a
as much
novel
as I
idea
want
that would be.
canon, I would even be happier at this junction with characters that are not Triforce rulers.
Like Groose.
At this point, I would even
Like
be happy with
Yetta.
him. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yetta goes wild at one point.
Fee.
Yeah, and Uku.
Princess Ruto.
Yes, precisely.
Father.
Yeah. That guy, yeah, he can fight. He can just sit on you.
Bongo Bongo.
Even better. I do appreciate Bongo Bongo.
I knew you did.
Um, and Beetle, of course.
Oh, yeah,
King
yeah.
Jabu.
Beetle the Bard, the best Harry Potter character.
Yep,
Yeah,
precisely. Yes,
he's in
yes.
Smash.
There you go. Beetle the Bard riding Mokujin. Oh, speaking of, so before we get into kind of the Kazuya of it all, because that's what started out E3 for Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a Smash Brothers Con podcast, and I kind of feel like when we get to him, he's probably going to be the lion's share of the conversation almost just naturally. Um, so before we get to that, I kind of made a little highlight list of kind of like a loose top 5 moments from E3 for me.
Before we get to that,
Yeah.
why don't we talk about general thoughts overall?
General thoughts. Well,
General
because of
thoughts.
yeah,
This
great.
E3 was
E3 sucks.
odd.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
odd because maybe be a little nice to it. Like past E3s have always been huge physical appearances. The company gets up on a stage, they act all high and mighty, they bring out a car or a band for some fucking reason,
Sometimes it's robot
and
Reggie.
then Devolver Digital does something fucking weird. Because apparently that's what they do. Nintendo gave up the physical presentations a couple years ago. I'm not sure how long it's been now, so that they can do their Nintendo Directs. And while they still have a physical presence on the show floor, they don't have a big stage presentation. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. First, the stage
Me too.
shows are going to be a lot more expensive, and let's be honest, people. Sony, Microsoft, I need you to listen for a second. We don't care about bands and cars. Show us the games. We don't give a fuck about your quarterly earnings or whatever the fuck else you want to talk about that's not games. Unless you have a console or a accessory that's going to actually mean something and not the Vitality Sensor Nintendo, we don't give a shit. Give us
Like
the
the
games.
PlayStation 3 Move controller. That was a
Yeah.
good one.
It's like, Jesus Christ. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think that's one of the best things about the show being digital this year is they weren't able to do all their normal bullshit. We didn't have
Agreed.
fucking Ubisoft bringing on a band for the new Just Dance or whatever the fuck they did that year. Jesus Christ, what the fuck, guys?
And all the children coming out to dance along with them. It's a
Yeah, and
nightmare.
it's awkward as hell to watch. Like, holy shit. This is why people say games are for children.
Uh-huh.
This right here. And then it was
Uh-huh.
like, but we have cars. Like, okay, do you know how many gamers sit in their basement and play games all day and don't drive cars? Okay, maybe not like stereotypical number, but generally speaking, an assumption here: your average gamer doesn't give a fuck about the newest shiniest car on the market. Just a tip.
Uh-huh.
Just a tip.
Uh-huh. Well, hey, if you're spending all that money on a car, how are you going to spend money on games?
I mean, and I don't remember if it was for last year's E3, which got canceled, or if it was for this one. But Sony had announced way beforehand that they weren't going to have a physical presence. Like, I don't think they were even planning to be at the show floor. I think this was for last year before it got canceled, before COVID became a whole thing. Sony was already declaring this. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, that's going to be really weird when Microsoft is the only one of the big three to have a presentation. That's fucking strange. And then we had nothing last year. Instead, we had Jeff Keighley doing his Summer Game Fest thing, which I think he's still planning to do this year, or he's done some things already for this summer. I don't know if he's done like his whole presentation like he did last year though. But this year it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh hey, everything is digital. It's like, okay, I'm okay with that. Sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom, Bethesda. Well, Bethesda kind of had a show. It was the
Yeah.
Microsoft
Yeah.
and Bethesda show, which is like, all right, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix had a show, Devolver Digital again, Ubisoft had a show. I think this was Capcom's first show, and they only talked
Mm-hmm.
about things that we already knew about. Like none of they talked about 4 games, and all of them had already been announced. Like, okay, what's the point? You do realize that this is the time for new games, right? Do you have new
Mm-hmm.
games?
Mm-hmm.
Anything? The new Ace
Remember, there was that
Attorney, Street Fighter
pretty
7
legit
or 6,
leak
whatever
from
number that was.
Capcom where they had their docs leaked from until
Oh
like
yeah, they did.
2029 of plans for games.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. And it
and yet there
was
was
totally
nothing.
legit. They could have, yeah. Uh-huh.
Like
Uh-huh.
they talked
Yeah, that
about
was
Resident
great.
Evil DLC. They showed off
Mm-hmm.
some features for Great Ace Attorney. We got a little bit from Monster Hunter Rise, and I think there was an amiibo they showed off. And
Yeah.
oh, and no, I don't. No, not Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Stories too.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I don't remember what their
Mm-hmm.
fourth game was, but it was again still something that was like, we already know this exists.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, E3
Yep.
or Capcom, I
Yep.
guess. But
Yeah.
like of the shows,
That was
generally
funny.
speaking, I'm not super excited when I watch shows. Like I try and catch as many of the shows as I can each year, but it's always just like most of the games they show up, I don't care about. I don't care about your Forza or your Tom Clancy, your Rainbow Six. I only barely give a shit
Mm-hmm.
about Halo. Eh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Microsoft show was like, all right, by default, it's the winner until Nintendo. And then Nintendo won
Mm-hmm.
again. Nintendo usually wins for the two of us. And granted, we're pretty biased towards Nintendo.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even within, like, everything else is like, I mean, and to be fair, COVID has been a thing. So everything's all fucked up still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was just not a super exciting show for me this year.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not even just your Forza or your NHL 2K, whatever. It's also kind of even more the gamers games that they're showing off. I also just did not really care about. There were subtle things. It's like, oh, okay, they're remastering this game, like Life is Strange. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's not a highlight
Yeah.
by any means. We've already seen it. Um,
I don't
Then
know
like
why something like that is an E3 announcement. It's like you can just
exactly,
announce it
exactly.
at any time. Why?
Or like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of scares me after the Avengers game.
I do think though I think that's a different studio than the Avengers game because they're still working on DLC. Like they announced Black Panther is coming to the game, and Hawkeye
Oh
is
yeah,
getting his own story mode.
interesting.
But it does. For the Guardians of the Galaxy, like at first I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. But then as I'm watching, it's like, so wait a minute, hold on. This is just Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy, but with combat.
Mm-hmm.
Not story wise, but it's like they have the same. Oh, your choices matter. Oh, Rocket
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that. It's like, okay,
uh
really? Like this game
huh.
exists.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has my attention, and I'll be on the lookout for new news. I did buy Avengers. I haven't played it yet. I haven't had the
hmm
time to even give it a shot. And I'll probably take a look at Guardians whenever it comes out. But for now, it's just
Yeah.
like I I I like the idea of it. However, we've also already seen it, so you really need to make it stand out on the story, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just say thank God we have the Spider-Man games that are good. At least there's that hill to
Yeah,
die on.
I still need to get Miles
Um,
Morales though. I haven't done it yet.
yeah, me either.
I need a fucking
Um,
PS5. Can't find him anywhere. The Final
it's
Fantasy VII,
amazing that people are, yeah,
the Final Fantasy VII remake DLC is out, and I've had to watch somebody else play through it because I can't get a fucking PS5.
yeah, it's a problem. It
Yeah,
still is a problem all these months later.
yeah, it is. I
That's
check
why
every
I'm
now and
waiting.
then, but everywhere is sold out.
Mhm. Yeah.
But like, even though like overall I wasn't that impressed with a lot of the shows, there were still some good announcements. Like, I did think Guardians of the Galaxy was like, okay, this does look like a fun game. Age of Empires 4 came out of fucking nowhere, but I was like, fuck yes,
Yes,
fucking loved those
that
games
is a
as a
highlight
kid.
for me. That is
Uh,
a big
I
highlight for me.
wish we got to see something, but it was because it was just a title reveal. And I was like,
hmm
fuck yeah, Age of Empires. I like that more than I
Yeah,
like Civ.
yeah,
We got
and
to see
because
some
it was
more
the
Breath of the
title reveal,
Wild.
yeah.
We got a new Mario Party, which is really this new Mario Party. At first
Could have
glance,
been
like, oh,
DLC, but
fucking cool, because it's essentially like the best of the best with Mario Party. It's got 5 older maps, but I think they're all from the N64 games, from what I've read. And then it's supposed to be like the only like older mini games that people liked. But then I realized, wait a minute, Mario Party 100 already exists. They've done this, but just with mini games. They didn't have any boards. It's like, what the fuck? Why didn't you just do this back then? What is this?
uh-huh. A
I'm just
cash in.
confused. I'm just confused.
Yeah,
What I
yeah,
really
yeah.
wish for them to do with this game, and I doubt that we're gonna have more than the 5 maps that we know exist, but like do one map per game. And not just one map per
hmm
game, but take whatever it was about that game's mechanics and make them exclusive to that particular map. So
hmm
Mario Party 10 has the car. The whatever map they choose from that game. The map for Mario Party 8 uses the candy. Mario
hmm
Party 7, 6 uses the microphone. Whichever one of those it is. I think both might
It
use
was
it.
6 and 7.
6 and 7. Yeah,
Mario
they can
Party
use the
5 uses capsules, whatever.
a lot
Yeah.
of most of them use the capsules. Or like half of them do. 'Cause I know
Mario Party
7
4
and
has
6 do
the
as well.
build a car garage fighter mode.
See there, yeah.
I wish. I wish. That
And
was
the
great.
mini games would be a mix from all the different Mario Party games. Like that's what I would love to see. And
hmm
at least of like the numbered games, I don't know if they would throw like DS and Game Boy in there, or even Super
hmm
Mario Party, because
Yeah.
Super Mario Party might be hard to do.
hmm
But I don't know. Granted, this idea is probably just like a super complicated one for coding because they have to code each map to be completely different in how it even
hmm
functions mechanically.
Right.
But I think
Right.
it'd be a super cool thing to do. But I
Me
mean,
too.
we got that announcement. We got fucking Redfall, which looks like Left 4 Dead with zombies and magic, or not zombies, vampires. I was like, all right,
Yeah, I'm for that.
I'd
I'm
like to
for
see
that.
some real gameplay, but you have my attention. So like,
hmm
there was some cool stuff, but
Yeah.
overall, not super impressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
usually not.
Um, And you know there are a few other things too. Like I thought the Aiden Chronicles was pretty cool. Like that Suikoden Chronicles
Mhm.
spiritual successor. There was Metal Slug Tactics looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, that
Um,
that kind of sounded
uh-huh.
hard.
And that was totally out of left field.
Yeah.
The
So
new
was
Final
the
Fantasy
Advance Wars
thing.
reboot, which I
Yeah.
have to say, on one side of the coin, it's a terrible name, but on the other
Hmm.
side, it's a clever as fuck name. Like
Uh-huh.
Advance Wars Reboot Camp. Okay, it's a reboot. They're remaking the first two games at once. Like that's clever. On the other side of it, Reboot Camp doesn't flow too well. It's very awkward. It's like, what do you mean you're rebooting? Your reboot boot camp? Rebooting camp? What? What? What?
Rebooting Camp.
It only makes sense when you take it in fact like, oh, they're remaking the first two games. Otherwise, like this name is weird.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I have interest in
So
it. I don't
yeah.
know if I'll get it, but I'm
Yeah.
interested.
I am thrilled by that announcement. That is one of my top 5 reveals of E3.
It's also
Um,
not made by Intelligent Systems. It was made by different companies. So
yeah.
what the fuck? Where's the next Fire Emblem?
Yeah,
Seriously.
where's the yeah. I mean, we've been getting that remake rumor for a while. It's kind of
Yeah.
like when a Pokemon rumor comes around.
For the last two
Yeah.
years, the rumors for Fire Emblem have been, oh, they're remaking the Radiant or Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, and then it's oh, they're remaking Genealogy and Thracia, and then it's oh, they're remaking Binding Blade and Blazing Sword. It's like,
Uh-huh.
which one is it?
Uh-huh.
What? Just give us a game.
If
Fuck.
any. They're going to be like, "Oh, here's Shadow Dragon
It's
again."
like we're not getting Three Houses DLC. That's done. They're not all working on Heroes. We're not getting Fire Emblem
No.
Warriors 2.
Please God, no.
Please, God.
Not after what they did in the first. No, there's no
First of
Ike.
all, visually, it didn't look great.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Um Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, there were things that were missing. That's for sure. Splatoon 3, I think, was probably the biggest one for Nintendo and kind of for E3 in general. I was really expecting to see that.
Yeah.
There's been that long rumored Donkey Kong game. There's been the long rumored Fire Emblem remake.
Yep.
Yeah, so it just makes you wonder. And then the longer you go
But we're
without seeing it,
also
you
overdue
begin.
for
Yeah,
Kirby. Like, where's Kirby?
also
Like the
true
fact that
because
we didn't
Star
get him.
Allies. Yeah, as cool as Star Allies is with calling back to previous games.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good enough from a platforming perspective to stand on its own as the only Kirby game.
It's also been a while since we've had any updates to Star Allies. Like
Yeah,
Star Allies,
it
it's
was
done
it
with
was
this
like a
DLC.
2017 release.
It released in 2018, actually. I'm trying to find when
No,
its
there you
last
go.
DLC was. All right, well that doesn't help me. But yeah, it's like there's some things like holy shit, why are you missing? Like where are these franchises? Where's the Donkey Kong?
Where
Where's the
was
Kirby?
absolutely nothing on Metroid Prime 4 when it's like development hell now. Bayonetta 3, nothing,
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
yeah. Harada or not Harada? That's Tekken. Uh,
Hmm.
fuck, what's his name? Platinum Games
Kamiya.
guy. Kamiya, yeah.
Hmm.
He wants us to forget that they announced Bayonetta 3. It's like, we kind of can't. Like,
Uh huh.
you announced
Uh
it.
huh.
Now, should you have? You're learning that, no, you should not have. But,
Uh
that ain't our fucking fault, dude. All you
huh.
gotta do is just say, it's still in progress. You don't have to give
Hmm.
details. Just say, like, it's not abandoned. Just, that's all you gotta
Hmm.
do, and the internet will calm the fuck down, generally speaking.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh
Um.
wow! So the
No one.
last
Yeah.
DLC released in November of 2018.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's been quite a while.
yeah. Considering the game itself also released March 2018. Wow, they released a lot of DLC
Hmm.
in that year. Holy shit! I didn't realize that. Damn.
Yeah, seriously,
All right.
seriously. Yeah, I mean that's a disappointment, but at least we got No More Heroes 3 coming out, which kind of
Which
fits
also
similar, right?
wasn't
Sort
at
of.
E3.
No, they're just like, hey, it's coming out soon. You're like, okay.
Although
um,
I don't I don't remember much of Ubisoft show. The only thing I remember from Ubisoft show Ubi
Mario
Sharp. Are we
and
Sharp,
Rabbids.
Sharp, Sharp? Yeah,
Ubi
which was
shit. Ubi
leaked
shit.
beforehand. It was leaked. It's
Uh-huh.
like Nintendo
Uh-huh.
fucking leaked it. It's like, oh my god, guys, what are you doing?
That would have been a nice surprise otherwise.
I mean, there
It
had been
looks good.
rumors of a new one for a
Yeah.
while, and it made sense.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
does look pretty good. Like I looked at it, looks like not everybody's using a fucking blaster again. Like
Hmm.
thank you.
Hmm.
Like the blasters are fine,
Yeah.
but it's like I think it's cooler when every character has their own weapon. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the roster is a little bit of a question mark. It's like okay, so Rabid Rosalina is joining the party. Okay, sure. But I think it was like there's supposed to be 8 characters this time around.
Nine.
Nine.
Mhm.
And we haven't seen all of them. We don't even know if all the original characters are coming back. It could
Mhm.
be all the originals, and then just Rabbid Rosalina is the only new character. But we haven't
Yeah.
seen Yoshi or Rabbid Yoshi, and we've only seen Rabbid Peach, not regular Peach. So who the hell knows?
Yeah. We did get Rabbid Mario revealed in another trailer, so there's Rabbid Mario and Rabbid Luigi.
There is no way we weren't
I'm-
getting Rabbid
exactly,
Mario. Let's
exactly,
be fucking
exactly.
honest. It's like the people during Smash 4 who thought Yoshi was being cut because he hadn't been revealed. It was like, seriously? There are some characters that you can be concerned about being cut. Yoshi isn't one of them. Calm the fuck down. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There's a contention for like Jigglypuff or Ness or whatever, but I think at this point the Smash 64 veterans will always be in.
Jigglypuff is the only one that I think might get cut just because she is just like so. It's easy to cut. Well, I don't really know how to put it, but like because she has the least attachment, I think, for people.
Mm-hmm.
So she has her fans,
yeah.
but I think of all of them, she has the least attachment to things. Captain Falcon at this point is Mr. Smash Bros. I think necessary.
Yeah, not Mr. F-Zero. What the hell is that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. What's an F-Zero?
Is that the thing Fox and Falco are in?
No. That's the G-Zero Grand Prix.
Oh,
That's
yeah. What was that like?
The alternate endings for Command. Yeah.
Yeah. Magic Mike, kind of? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that's Punch Out.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Magic Mike's Punch Out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about that.
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Jersey Shore's Punch Out.
Hell no. I forgot all about that show. It was just a chronicle of our past. Oh boy, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So, I didn't get the chance to see all the presentations. Like, I didn't see Devolver Digital's, and I missed Bethesda's. But
Yeah.
I think I saw all the other ones, or I didn't see the PC gaming show either. Because, like, what even is that? I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, do they just show
The
games
Superior
to
show?
PC only? Because I honestly don't know what that show is. Is it just like
Wasn't that what
showing
Death
new
Stranding
PC tech?
was shown?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh god! Speaking of Death Stranding director's cut. Why?
I don't know.
Like,
Not enough umbilical cutting in the original title.
Apparently, they wanted to add a new fetus that looks like Hideki Kamiya.
That wouldn't be
I
that
don't know.
surprising.
It turns out he's the new villain in the DLC expansion story.
Wow. He's the villain and the hero. He's every character.
He's actually your clone brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the one Norman Reedus actually gave birth to, yes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. It happened.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing this game. Death Stranding is in the nah category. For disclosure, that's nah, period.
Okay. Thank you. You could put that on the t-shirt, actually.
You could.
Should we have your face on it, or should it just be nah?
Nobody would buy anything with his face on it.
But
Like,
actually,
when people
I would.
watch this show, they cover up my side of the screen.
Yeah. Then they just kind of look at mine like, It's tolerably ugly.
Yeah. Well, this is not.
Yeah, it's
This is just
tolerably
put your
beautiful.
face in a blender and press puree.
That was good, but it's not that bad.
You haven't seen the emails I get.
No, no, all from Super Cast Brothers fans. That's at least
We're
a
trying to
plus.
reach you with your car's extended warranty. I don't have one.
No, you don't. No,
No, I have
you
no need of one. Welcome to 2021, where you can have anything you want delivered to your house, including food.
yeah, as you do, as you do.
Also, you get to
Very
work from home
useful.
all the time. Living the life.
Oh, lucky bastard.
Yeah, yeah.
um, you know what?
Yes.
As far as besides Nintendo and I'll say Microsoft too. Microsoft had like a ton of Game Pass shit, which if you
Yeah.
have the system, like holy cow. They had some multiplayer for Halo, which is the best part of Halo.
And
Redfall,
Halo
yeah,
Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free, which is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Big ups there.
Mm-hmm.
And Atomic Heart, which is fucking
I
weird.
still wish they would bring
Um,
Halo 5 to Steam, though. Like,
yeah,
all the other Halo games are on Steam. And Infinite is going to be on PC. What the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah. It's so bizarre. Um, of random omission. But yeah, Nintendo and Microsoft, as far as the major companies go, really owned E3. There's no competition.
But
Capcom
what about
lost.
Sony?
They're dead last. They weren't there.
Oh, yeah. Even though it's a
They're
digital
gonna.
event, Sony's like, we're not even going to put together a 30-minute presentation. It's like, really? Like, I
Uh
feel like if you don't want to go to a physical show, do a whole thing, I understand that. Nintendo, again, they're saving money on it. But they could at least have thrown together a digital, like a
a
string
state
of
of play.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
the E3 state of play. Like, come the fuck on. What the hell,
yeah.
guys?
I guess they're gonna do a state of play probably in September or
Yeah,
whatever. That's
they're
weird.
saving it for whenever they're ready to unveil PlayStation All Stars 2.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's good. I'm waiting for them to unveil the PlayStation 5 that's actually sold in stores, but
Oof.
well,
We'll get
we'll kind
PlayStation
of get to
6
that one.
before that.
We'll get PlayStation Mini. Oh, they have a PlayStation
The,
Mini. That's right. I
they'll
forgot about that.
restock the digital editions, but not the disc
Hmm.
editions.
That won't be a surprise. It's kind of where gaming is going in general, and I don't like it.
It's like I don't mind digital games. I have a lot of games downloaded on Switch, but I also
Hmm.
want the option of physical.
Well, it's the great worry about the cloud. The thing crashes. What's going to happen next?
Exactly. I mean, we see
Hmm.
the same thing with Steam. I have a lot of games on Steam. One day, Steam is going to be gone. What will happen to my games? I'll have
Yeah.
to finally suck it up and get on. What's the other one? That Epic Games. To get on the Epic Games Store,
I
which I refuse to currently.
yeah. Oh God.
I will only ever get on that
Um.
thing if Steam actually crashes and burns.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to patronize Epic if I don't have to.
I will.
Seeing
Fuck you.
their bizarre, like, remember that anti-Microsoft campaign they were running? That was.
No.
Okay. Well.
I remember they got in a fight with
I'll,
Apple.
was it? It was Apple and Microsoft, I think, for Fortnite, and they made this big presentation about it.
Oh, I
In
know. I don't remember them
Fortnite.
having a war with Microsoft, but I do remember they had this whole thing with Apple. There was like this ad about them trying to
Hmm.
portray Apple as like this bad guy because they wouldn't let them sell the game on the App Store and do things their way. Because they
Uh,
wanted to. They wanted to. I
okay.
think if I remember correctly, they wanted people to be able to buy like V-Bucks or whatever the fuck it's called in game on iPhone without having to use the iTunes Store, which
Right.
for Apple was
Right.
a big no-no. Why? I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I don't care. Fuck Apple and
Uh-huh.
fuck Epic.
Uh, yeah. It was bizarre. Yeah, you're right. It was Apple in hindsight. How could I forget that? It was absurd. Not that Apple's not absurd.
Isn't it
Epic's
still going
reaction
on?
was just bizarre. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember there even being any news about a resolution to the case.
No, I don't think so either. I think Fortnite is still on the App Store though, so
It's on the
Shrug.
iPhone store.
Let's check right
Because
now
I
because I
thought it
have
got
it.
pulled, and that's what started Epic's lawsuit.
Fortnite. Oh yeah, nope. It's not. They have
See,
PUBG on here, but not Fortnite. Yep, that's funny. That's funny. Whatever. It's hard to really choose a moral company between those two,
yeah,
so I'm gonna
yeah.
stay out of that.
I mean, you don't
Um,
have to because neither one is.
yeah. Oh, um,
All
but
right.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So, top five announcements from
Yeah,
E3, or yeah, announcements really. Top five things from E3 that made us go, oh shit.
yeah.
Why don't you start?
Okay. My number five is this kind of leads into what I was gonna say too. Besides Nintendo and Microsoft, indies trounced the competition for the major developers.
Okay.
The limited run games had a few exclusive announcements like the River City Girls 2. Symphony of the Night is getting repackaged with Rondo of Blood for PS4 through limited run games. Uh, the Wholesome Games Direct, which I thought was just going to be stupid all the way through, it was all just cutesy reveals, Animal Crossing esque stuff. Actually had quite a few games that were really interesting, like the Yokai Inn, where you are looking after an inn with yokai who visit, and also
Okay. I
bird
saw
problems where you
none
help
of this.
birds. Yeah, you help birds solve their problems in bird
Are
problems,
you sure
and
this
they're dressed in
isn't Hatoful
suits.
Boyfriend 2?
Thank
Because it sounds like
you for
Hatoful
reminding me to get
Boyfriend
that
2.
game. It's not. It looks really good. And Devolver Digital too. I mean, they have Devolver. I mean, it's surprising that they're indie status because they make these high profile directs every single year now.
Mm-hmm.
Very very professionally done, even though they're BSing all the way through with all these
They
jokes
definitely have
and
some theater kids
craziness.
on staff.
Definitely, definitely. But they have like Wizard with a gun was kind of a highlight. It's a wizard with a
I
gun
vaguely remember
in a
hearing about
dungeon.
that.
Yeah, it's a dungeon crawler, but you have magic in it. It's
Is it
the
like Enter the
irony
Gungeon?
sells it. Little bit,
Okay.
little bit more like Bastion. And then there's Terra Nil, which I wrote down and actually now can't recall it all, but it's probably cool. Um, and actually, my number five on this list is from Devolver Digital's Direct,
Oh.
which is yeah, which is Trek to Yomi, being a you're like, what is that? And
What
I'm
is
naughty.
that?
It's when I first saw it, like a lot of people, because I saw it detached from the direct. I wasn't able to watch the direct live.
Mm-hmm.
Someone shared the link with me, and I was like, "What the hell? This is the Ghost of Ikishima."
Oh,
that
right,
they're,
right.
but it's
I'm
but
in
it's
tune
not.
with
It's
you.
it was the which was revealed as an expansion today,
Yeah.
actually.
I thought it
So
was
that's
going to be a
cool.
whole new game at first, but they said, like, it's DLC. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy it. It would have been cool to have a full game. We will eventually get a full game. That's almost inevitable. Um, but yeah, Trek to Yomi. It is a 2D platformer inspired by Kurosawa samurai films. So just like Ghost of
Mm-hmm.
Tsushima was inspired by Kurosawa samurai films. So very very much in the same style, but this is all black and white like the Kurosawa films actually were, and is just kind of a gritty 2D platformer, not unlike some of the things that Devolver Digital has already created. Like I think Cyber Ninja was the name of it, but that's kind of more of a Blade Runner esque, Strider esque game.
Right.
This is more traditional samurai, and the combat
So,
system was interesting. Yeah, yeah,
so Devolver saw Ghost of Tsushima, and they were like, but what if 2D platformer?
yeah.
And then they did
Yeah,
it.
it's like they're like Ghost of Tsushima if it fell within Devolver's budget. which
I
is
mean, to
fine
be
with me
fair, they
because
spend half their yearly budget on their E3 presentation. Oh god.
that they do. But it looks really good. It looks really good. And so I chose this as my number 5. And yeah, I will purchase this game when it comes out. So what's your 5th?
They also made, well, they published Fall Guys.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, that made him a lot of money.
It was developed by Mediatonic, but they published it. But
Hmm.
my number 5, I actually did not see in one of the E3 presentations. But when I was making this list, I was looking up, all right, list of E3 presentations. And I saw this one, I was like, that got announced? What? 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 And what is it? And watching the trailer, it's your typical cinematic CG trailer. There's no actual gameplay. They're just giving you a tease. And it's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a Borderlands video game, a
Oh,
tabletop RPG with Tiny Tina, and the best character in the series. And it's like, all right, because she had a DLC campaign, not really a campaign. She had a DLC thing for Borderlands 2 where she was running a D&D campaign called in their world it's called Bunions and Flagons. And your 4 characters, you're all playing through the campaign for her, and you're having to go along with her crazy world. So I'm wondering, like, is that what this is? Or like, are you playing with her doing dungeon mastering a game, or is this just like actual magic and shit? I don't understand. I don't know what it is. The trailer gave me no real information, but goddamn, they got my attention.
oh yeah, yeah,
Especially if it's less focused on guns and more focused on RPG mechanics. If it's like legit RPG, give me some Final Fantasy goodness. Oh, I'm fucking there.
yeah. Because Borderlands has a compelling world and aesthetic. I've just never gotten into it myself because the gameplay doesn't
Is
appeal to me.
shooter
Yeah,
craziness. Yeah. The only way I'm able to
yeah,
play is with other people.
yeah. Well, here's to hoping that you get your wish. That's a solid number 5.
Yeah.
And I guess with that said, it's on to number 4s. Boss Baby 2 is coming out. Oh wait, that's not my number 4 though. So let me. My list just disappeared. Okay, number 4 is I talked about it a little earlier. Advanced Wars Reboot Camp.
Okay.
As you do. What can you say? I mean, you figure it's a dead franchise. The last game came out over 10 years
On
ago at this
original
point.
DS.
Yeah, Days of Ruin. I think it was a late game DS thing. It was like a 2008 release or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was good, but then it just kind of died off. They did that kind of weird thing where they tried to give it that pseudo realistic clay aesthetic, like Shadow
Ugh.
Dragon's reboot. It looked a lot better on Days of Ruin than it did on Shadow Dragon, given because you're kind of dealing with tanks and heavy
The
artillery
character
that look good
portraits
in
of
the
Shadow
album.
Dragon don't look great. They
No, they
don't.
don't. They don't. It was kind of similar in Days of Ruin, if I recall, which is unfortunate. But still, having these games remade, I mean, hopefully it's the entry point into getting a new title, is what I'm hoping, and just legitimizing Advanced Wars again. I mean, you're not going to move the world with way forwards kind of simple 2D style with these remakes.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if this is going to be like an eShop only title or what have you. What's going on with it? Um, but either which way it goes, I'm happy to have the series back because it's just one of those things. Oh, Advanced Wars is here. Is it 2003? That's like
I mean, people have been
it
wanting
came out of
Andy to be
nowhere.
in Smash, and it's just been like, well, he's in a
Yeah,
dead franchise. But now
yeah,
with reboots, his chances are
yeah.
back. He has a shot again.
He fits. Yeah, he fits that engineer mold that people have been wanting. At least you
Yeah.
and I have been wanting. So yeah, that would be good. And I mean, Sammy and Max are there too, but I'm clearly Andy is the choice here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
It's like
No,
it
I'm looking
looks
forward
it
to
looks
it.
slightly off-putting to me, just like
Mhm.
art-wise, and I don't know what it is. But something about the art just has
Uh,
me go like, something's weird here,
it's
and I don't know why. But I'm hoping
it's
that whatever it
like
is gets fixed by the time it's released.
yeah, it's kind of like the Link's Awakening remake style meets Uncanny Valley. It's
Yeah. I
weird.
mean, I would call that
Yeah.
more what the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes look like. Because
Also
at least,
true.
because
Yeah.
while I
Yeah.
hate the design choice for the Link's Awakening reboot, at least it's a solid overall design. Like yes, I complain that they look like Fisher Price toys, but at least they actually look like Fisher Price toys. The Pokemon Diamond and Pearl ones look like off-brand Fisher Price toys.
Yeah. It looks like a Chinese mobile game.
Oof, oof.
Oh wait, Pokemon's actually making a Chinese mobile game.
Which we just
Which
got
is even
information on.
better. Everyone's so excited.
Yeah.
Uh, rather have my Pokemon Ranch too.
I had that.
Oh, so did I. So did I. I had Pokemon Channel, all
I
that shit.
played. I don't know why I had it played so much. Like what? Why? It was a cool idea. It was like Pokemon Bank, but you actually play with your Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
oh man, Pokemon Ranch.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Good times.
uh
Um, but yeah, so it goes. Despite whatever little naggles the design has, I'm excited to just have it back.
mm,
Um, there it begs the question: if Intelligent Systems isn't making the way forward, where is Fire Emblem? Where's
seriously.
whatever Intelligent Systems is working on? Where's
Wait,
the new Paper Mario? That's
Wait Ford is working on more projects at a time than Intelligent Systems is. What the fuck? Wait Ford's working on like 23 different things
yeah.
at a time, and they're an indie studio.
Uh
Holy
huh.
shit!
Uh huh.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is how they pay for
I know.
Shantae.
I know. Uh huh. Yeah, it's legitimate. I mean, it's better than their other out licensed titles. Like they've made Mummy games in the past,
Yeah. They
SpongeBob games in the
yeah.
past.
God, that reminds me. I was watching the Runaway guys did their Coliseum event recently, and by recently I mean like in the last couple months. And one of the events was Chaos Fortune Cookie, where people will donate money, and every 30 minutes, the game that has the highest amount of donations towards it will be the next game played for the next 30 minutes. And they also reached two incentives to play games 1 through 10 after the whole thing was over on a bonus stream in 11 through 20. And on the 1 through 10 stream, which just happened recently, the SpongeBob movie game that Wait For It worked on was one of them. And I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Holy shit, the game just looks bad. Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. I don't know. Their DT must have been on that game. Yikes. It's like
They
Shantae
came
looks
from
leagues
humble
better.
beginnings.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, quite interesting their history. So, all said, I suppose. What's your number four?
So my number four is a game that we already knew existed, but we only knew the title. That's Shin
Hmm.
Megami Tensei 5. Now I have
There you
not
go.
had a whole lot of interaction with this series. Like, obviously when joking around with Smash, I got sucked into the world of Persona, which is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei. But only recently did I start playing Shin Megami Tensei 3 when it released on Steam. And to be honest, I don't really know how I feel about it. I think it's just because it's older, so I'm having mixed feelings about it. So like, there's a lot of convenience that's not there, or things that get improved in later games, both in later Shin Megami Tensei games and later Persona games that's missing, and there's just like a general lack in the storytelling for me. Like I don't know, but I'm looking forward to Shin Megami Tensei 5 because it kind of looks like it's following some of the similar ideas from 3, where something makes you have power and you're like half demon or shit, and you can summon other demons to fight alongside you instead of having like a team of humans like Shin Megami Tensei 4 does. And when I was watching the battles, like before the battles, like, it's an open world setting, and you can find the different demons on the map, which is crazy because that's new for Shin Megami Tensei. I'm fairly sure, but also the combat system looks very similar to Tokyo Mirage systems. Or sessions rather. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think it's gonna have the same like chaining effect that you could do in Mirage sessions. But at the very least, like the symbols for the different attacks and how they're laid out on the screen looks the same. Like the lance, or not the lance, but like the symbol for the wind moves, which for some reason is called Zan in Shin Megami Tensei games, but it's Garu in Persona, and I'm confused why it's different when like it's still Bufu and Agi for Ice and Fire across both series. So why? I don't get that. But what the fuck ever.
I don't-
It's weird. But I'm looking forward to it. The main character looks a little weird, but whatever. I'm kind of hoping that since their design is fairly androgynous, I'm hoping that you can actually change gender, or not change gender, but
yeah.
choose what you want them to look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe so. Going the Avatar route would not be too surprising. A lot of games are doing
I
it.
mean, that's what Shin Megami Tensei 3 is. And I don't know about 4 because I've only really been exposed to 3. But 3, you just have this character that doesn't talk, and you choose his name. So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
imagine the same thing will happen here.
Or you could just go by the default Demi Fiend.
Well, Demi Fiend is a title. You don't actually choose that. You just get called Demi Fiend.
Oh, okay.
But you also choose a first name, last name, and a nickname.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
the
Okay.
nickname is
Okay.
what you're actually called by. I think the nickname is what you're called by, like in the system menus, or it might be your first name, last name. I don't remember for sure. But NPCs will refer to you as the Demi Fiend, or like in the prophecy there is a Demi Fiend and whatnot.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So kind of similar to how Astral Chain handles its name. Kind of.
Yeah, and
Um
really the
yeah.
Persona names as well. Like Persona has canon names, but they're
hmm
typically not revealed in the main game. It's in something else where
hmm
their name gets revealed. Just like, okay, sure.
Yeah. 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 Um yeah, I'm really looking forward to Shin Megami Tensei as well. I had the opportunity to play a more modern version of the game with 4 versus 3 on the 3DS that everybody lauded.
Hmm.
I just kind of didn't take the chance because I don't know.
Yeah.
So we really didn't. I think you and I both just didn't get turned on towards these series until Joker was in
I
Smash.
mean, I didn't know they
Um,
existed. I
uh-huh.
had no knowledge of their even existence until Joker.
hmm
It was a huge blank. I
hmm
didn't know Atlas the company was a thing.
Wow, that's a lot of games
It
that you
was
didn't know.
never on
But
my
yeah, it
radar.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. So it goes. But yeah, Persona 5 is a good game.
Yeah.
Good game. So if Tensei 5 is anything like that, then bada bing, bada boom. And
Yeah.
if it's a darker storyline, which it clearly is, I'm for that too. So should be interesting.
Hmm.
No surprise that they're retreading 3. I think that was the most popular one, but it's kind of like they're giving 3 just the contemporary window dressing,
Yeah.
giving it because the quality of life updates. When you don't have them in an RPG, it's a little more evident. It's like going back and playing Earthbound now as a first
Yeah.
timer.
Yeah, it is. And let me tell you, going back and playing Earthbound in 2021 is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, or like the old Dragon Quest or Shining Force, you're going through all those
The
menus.
original Final Fantasy on NES.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the original Pokemon games, I can't go back to those. I can't do it.
hmm
The furthest I
Yeah,
can go
and this
back
is
is Gen 3.
yeah. Well, Gen 3
Even
is where
then.
things started feeling a little modern,
Yeah,
but yeah, I know.
Gen 3
There's
is where,
so
like, they're still solid. There's the hardest thing about going back to Gen 3 is just you don't have the physical special split anymore. Beyond that, Gen
hmm
3 is good.
yeah, yeah. It has Sableye, but not Mega Sableye. um, you
Speaking of threes,
that's the Rio. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom HD. If only that
I'd
was
buy it.
announced.
I'd buy it.
Oh,
I
so would I. I
loved
was
fall
so
stalking.
into
It was
ball
so
smoking. Uh
fun.
huh.
I wanted to
Uh huh.
record it, but when I got to like the seventh or eighth mission, the game kept crashing on me. As soon as the battle started on that mission,
Oh
it's like,
shit.
God damn it! So I had to cancel that recording.
Uh huh.
It was a shame.
That sucks.
Yeah,
That
because I was going to
sucks.
show how to get every monster and everything, even moisture creature,
Wow.
or at the very
I'm
least
just looking
talk
it
about
up
the
now. I'm
ones. Because
surprised.
there are some of them that required you to play through the same campaign multiple times to get. It's like I'll just tell them about those.
Hmm.
But you're number
Apparently,
three.
the game was not very well received. I'm surprised to see this.
I'm not
But I remember
surprised.
having the time of my life with it as a kid.
Yeah, but
44 out of 100 on Metacritic. Oof.
we're weird
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Okay. So, my number three. Uh, the new WarioWare title on the Switch, of course, which,
Warrior Weird, get it together, and he kind of needs to.
yeah, WarioWare get it together. He does. He does. I love that you can play through these micro games as the different developers now, the
Yeah,
different characters, and have various different abilities to carry them through. That there's a co-op mode throughout it. Um, Unlike Mario Party, WarioWare coming back feels fresh.
yes.
It,
It's
yeah,
like yeah, we
they're,
had
yeah,
WarioWare DIY, and there was that
hmm,
WarioWare Gold, but nobody really cared about either of them. Neither of them really
yeah,
stood out. The last
hmm,
WarioWare that did was Smooth Moves on the Wii.
which was great, but it was on the Wii.
Yeah, I
That was
mean,
a long
but
time
it was a
ago.
lot of fun. With the motion kills, actually did really good with that game.
Hmm. Hmm. I think that one that if Brawl did not exist, that would have been my most played Wii game. That was an awesome game. Yeah, yeah,
Wii Sports, maybe
yeah. Wii
I don't know,
Sports was up there. Yeah, well, I don't know.
but
Excitebot
like
Trick Racing. No.
I'm looking forward to the new WarioWare as well. It's actually my number three as well. But
Oh,
it's
cool.
like the cast of WarioWare is just a bunch of good characters. I'm curious to see who will be new and added to the game because they always add somebody. Some new character comes in.
Waluigi with a driver's cap.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
seriously,
like
seriously.
what the fuck, please. It's
Hmm.
like they're very simple games. You don't got to be great at gaming to play WarioWare. It's just a good, fun time. You can
Yeah,
pretty much relax with WarioWare.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We finally get Gino in WarioWare.
He's the tutorial.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
he
There you
helps you
go.
calibrate your controls, and then he's gone. I'm not crying.
Oh
You're
god.
crying.
And then Dodo is a mini as a micro game host. Um,
Honestly, a mini game or a micro game. Sorry, a micro game with Dodo in it would be fucking fun. Breaking statues.
there you
Yes,
go. There you
please.
go. There you go.
Oh, it'd be
I
so
don't see why
good.
not. Why not?
Ah,
Just let Square come to the dance. They could put Sephiroth in Smash again.
a square
Um,
dance.
sounds more likely than an Enix dance. Anyway,
Anyway, you're number
uh,
two because we share number three.
yeah, yeah, that was convenient. Yeah, WarioWare, get it together is a day one for me. I'll pay $60 for it. I don't care.
It's
Um,
50. It's 50.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
it's
pay
$50.
$50 for it. I don't care.
Apparently,
Cool.
there was a
Cool.
survey shortly before E3 that in one of the questions was about would you pay $49.99 for a new WarioWare game? And a lot of people were just like, that's an oddly specific question. Huh. Wonder what that means. And then now announcing WarioWare for $50. Like, huh. That's probably nothing.
Yeah, when Nintendo could be so formulaic and typical, like with the Mario sports games, with the Mario Party games, this era.
Yeah.
Um, thank God we have things like WarioWare or Paper Mario, for God's sake. So at least we have WarioWare. Um,
Yahtzee will be happy too.
yeah, they sure will.
He's not
They
happy
sure
about a
will.
lot of things, but he'll be happy about WarioWare.
Uh huh. Good old Yancey. Number two. Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 2. It would easily be number one if we got an extended trailer, a release date, a name. Clearly, they're not as far along with this game as I would like for them to be at this junction.
Yeah.
I'm expecting quarter 4, November, December 2022 easily. I would be shocked if it came out in quarter 1 or quarter 2 of next year.
Holiday next year makes more
Which I think
sense.
is more reserved for, yeah. And I think Splatoon 3 is kind of going to dominate early next year. So we'll see where that goes. It would have made sense for them to show it if it were coming out in January.
That trailer also just like it makes
But
so many
nonetheless.
questions. What is going on in that trailer? Like we see
Uh-huh.
Zelda get sucked into a cavern. Link's hand does weird shit. All of a sudden we're falling in the sky. It's like what the fuck is going on in this game? Is there gonna?
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I think is gonna happen is the Loftwing amiibo that got announced for Skyward Sword. I think you're gonna be able to use that in Breath of the Wild too. It's gonna be your new Wolf Link.
Yeah. Oh,
Because we had Twilight
yeah.
Princess
They're
HD around the
retroactively.
same time as Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's happening.
Yeah, that would be pretty. Yeah, they're retroactively making Skyward Sword better,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how WandaVision retroactively made Age of Ultron good. So, kind of in that sense. So, Skyward Sword HD is going to be bad. It's going to be what Skyward Sword was, but with higher definition. And then I'm going to buy it anyway because I hate myself. Because I want to like it because it's Zelda and I can't because the gameplay sucks. But then if you can get a Loftwing in Breath of the Wild too, and I mean those cheeky bastards, right? Because you're falling from the sky. That's trademark for Skyward Sword.
Exactly.
They're doing all this shit on purpose. They're tying it in, capitalizing on sales. Whatever, good for them. Shrewd businessmen. But Breath of the Wild 2 is like if Skyward Sword were good, the game. And I mean, to be fair, I mean they're realizing a lot of the practices in Skyward Sword that kind of sucked, like the stamina system in Skyward Sword sucks. Okay, it's gonna be fine in Breath of the Wild and maybe good in Breath of the Wild too.
I
We
feel
will
like
see.
what'll really help Skyward Sword is if the stamina system, because they're not going to get rid of it, just like make it last twice as long, because it
Yeah,
is pitiful. Just make it last twice as
hmm
long, and I think Skyward Sword will be massively improved just from that.
agreed,
It won't fix all of its
agreed.
problems and all the backtracking that you have to do to the same 3 areas of the game, because there's only 3 areas in the game. Well, there's 4 areas in the game. Okay, 5. There's your town, which doesn't count. Then there's the forest, the desert, and something else I don't remember. And then it's like, oh yeah, every so often you gotta go back to the pit and fight the beastie, otherwise everyone
hmm
dies. And you do that like 4 times each.
hmm
Thrilling.
And at the end of the day, the best part are pumpkin pies and Batro and the Grucinator.
Okay, that one I remember.
hmm hmm
Anyways, my number 2.
But yeah, Breath. Yeah.
Unless you have more.
hmm
You know? Okay.
No, just it looks pretty cool that Link can phase through ground things now, and that half the world is in the sky.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He can also phase through the ground in Breath of the Wild if you know how to clip through the ground. Because that's a thing.
All of that for
For a
Auburn
fucking.
cider,
Oh
whatever it
god, the
was.
impossible chest.
Amber. It was Amber. Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 2, Zelda's not on my list. It
hmm
probably would have been if we actually got to see real gameplay and not just a cinematic trailer. Because cinematic trailers can get you interested in a game, but they're not enough. They're not.
Yeah. Something that most developers can learn from
Because
Ubisoft.
yeah, like with a cinematic trailer, you can make any game look good.
Yeah.
What matters is gameplay,
Link
and not
does have
just game.
shaggy hair.
What they fucking do? I don't give a shit. My number 2 though is Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, which a lot of people online apparently don't like from what I've heard, But to me, it's just like, okay, do I play Dark Souls like games? No, I don't. For
Uh-huh.
good reason.
Uh-huh.
But does this game look fucking awesome? Hell yeah, it does. Okay, sure, the names aren't exactly Final Fantasy names, but neither is Billy Bob, which is in Final Fantasy VII. Granted, also, that's not a main character, but still, Final Fantasy 15 has the Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. But these
Mm-hmm.
guys, like,
Mm-hmm.
the whole premise,
The
it's
Beach Boys.
it's a darker take on the original Final Fantasy One, and that's awesome to me. What I want to know is, like, is this supposed to be like a whole thing where are they going to succeed, and that's going to be like their
Mm-hmm.
story, or is this going to be because in Final Fantasy One we know that Chaos has been doing this for years. He has this whole cycle of life and death that he goes through with the world. People keep trying to defeat him and they keep failing. So is this going to be the story of a group of heroes that failed? I want to know this because unlike
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo
Maybe.
and Age of Calamity,
Yeah.
Square Enix is not afraid of showing a story where the heroes all get fucked. Crisis
Mm-hmm.
Core, anyone, which was
Mm-hmm.
another beautiful game. I am
It was.
extremely interested in seeing what they do with this game. I probably will not buy it because I will not be good at its combat. I know what kind of combat I'm good at in games, but I'm going to be watching the fuck out of it. I'm extremely interested in seeing what this game does.
I'm gonna finally give Soul style gameplay a chance with this game.
Ooh,
The closest I've gotten to it is like The Witcher, which I think, given
that's not
it's more of an
Soul
open
style.
world, so it's easy. Exactly, exactly. People say that it is, but it's not.
No, it's not.
So yeah, yeah. If you play a Neo 2
The
or
Witcher is an
actual or
action
Demon Souls,
RPG.
hmm hmm um, they are designed just to kind of make you sad and depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see. Praise the sun. Final Fantasy is coming.
Praise the Sun is a summon. I summon Raw.
Excellent. There you go. The winged dragon. Yes. Um. Okay. Number ones, huh?
Number ones. And where I'm guessing we had the same number one, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So, mm, my number one is Maravilla Island.
You mean Age of Empires 4?
No, I actually mean neither of those things. Maravilla Island. Meant to mention it earlier. Looks good. Not my number one. It's Metroid Dread. Come on.
Metroid Dread. Fuck.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
number one.
Uh huh. And you and I are both not
Not
Metroid
Metroid
big
people.
on Metroid,
Like, it's
but
cool, but I'm not good. I can't
yeah,
play that kind of game.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get it.
I
I mean,
especially
I
can't play Dread. Like, I might be able to play, like, regular Metroid game, but I cannot play Dread. I will.
yeah,
Nope.
yeah, yeah,
It's Alien Isolation, but as a Metroid game. And I tried Alien Isolation, and
yeah.
I noped the fuck out. I was like, before we even got to an alien, I was like, my blood pressure's too high already. I can't do this. I'm done. Done. I'm done. Can't do it.
Uh-huh.
It's like if it was
Uh-huh.
just the aliens, maybe
Uh-huh.
I'll sign. But then when people were shooting at me, it's like I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of
Uh-huh.
guns. I'm out of being
Uh-huh.
shot at.
Yeah, I'm curious how good I'll be at it because Metroid has always just been, I mean, it's part of the pseudonym people made, Metroidvania. I've played so many Castlevania games to completion. But Metroid is still kind of a different beast in general. You have this more stealth sections in Metroid. It's primarily a shooter, so the combat system is still different enough
Hmm.
because Castlevania is primarily melee oriented combat.
Right.
And even in Smash, the characters that are melee oriented, I'm much better at than projectile oriented characters. So we'll just have to wait and see how good I am at the game. Will I buy the game after seeing all that? Yeah, yeah. To see Metroid Dread come back after all of this
15
time
years.
from cryogenesis, absolutely bonkers that we're getting that. So Nintendo saved themselves because we said, "What the hell?
Yeah.
Where's Metroid Prime 4?" Like again, and yeah, where is it? But hey, this is more than a salve. This is pretty fucking awesome.
Yep.
And The Emmy, watch that be the next random enemy that becomes playable in Smash.
Fuck that shit.
Uh, has a lot of different capabilities.
Emmy Spirit Battle would be a swarm of Robs that
Oh
all
god.
this is gonna be like a legend class spirit or maybe ace,
Hmm.
and like they're all hardcore hunting you down. They chase you, and they have increased defense and strength,
I won't be winning that.
and their laser is more powerful.
Oh god. I'm gonna be
Or
playing as
maybe
some
not more powerful,
giant
but
little DK.
they make extreme use of it when it's at full charge.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Just
Maybe
like
not a
the
horde of
Emmy
them, maybe
chase
like two or
sequences.
three. Maybe just one.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
gotta happen.
Hmm. Dude, seeing that thing chase Samus down the hallway is more than enough.
Terrifying.
Like, holy
Just
cow.
watching it, it was
Uh-huh.
terrifying.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It was something else. But yeah, really good for Metroid fans. I know your brother is through the moon about it.
He is. He
Um,
is. He's been trying to get a
yeah, yeah.
pre-order of the deluxe edition, but it's not available
So have
anywhere.
I. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was just a case of it selling out immediately or if Nintendo's withholding it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm waiting now that the art books seem pretty cool. So cool.
All right.
There's our top fives.
Well, that's going to be it for discussing E3. But now I think we can transition into what was technically an E3 announcement, but it's our latest character in Smash,
Mm-hmm.
Kazuya from Tekken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The trailer opens. You see a cliff. You see, I honestly don't remember what was below the cliff. Fire, lava, something glowing in red. And you're just like, okay, I know this is a Smash trailer, but who is it? Meanwhile, the Tekken fans are already screaming because they know. They know. But for the rest of us plebeians, the next thing we see is Ganondorf being held by somebody. I'm just like, okay, what? Is this a Zelda character? Why are they carrying Ganondorf? That's strange. And then the figure comes into view as Ganondorf is unceremoniously tossed off the cliff, and it's oh shit, it's Tekken and not Heihachi? Oh my god! And that was all the reaction I had because after that I was just like, okay.
um,
Not because I don't care about Kazuya, but it's just because like I don't know Tekken. I'm not
yeah,
very well up
yeah,
to date on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Since his announcement, I've been watching some things. Maximilian Dude on YouTube has been uploading clips of him going through Kazuya and either the arcade or the story for each of the Tekken games that he's playable in. So I've been able to get some knowledge through that, and good God, that family has
Evolution.
issues. My
Yeah.
fucking God, the Mishimas are fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
From
Mm-hmm.
Grandpappy Jinpachi to Lil Baby Jin, they're all fucked up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
I, I do,
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of like, as much as it's weird to say it, Heihachi kind of feels like more the good guy, because he's just like, my
Agreed.
son has a
Agreed.
devil in him. I'm gonna kill him. And then it's in like the villainous part of him is where he goes, I'm gonna kill him. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, here's my 8-year-old son. Off the cliff you go. It's like, sir? Sir. Wait, hold on. I get what you're thinking, but wait. But really, nobody in that family is a good guy. All the protagonists in
No.
Tekken are all villains, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I'm not
Uh-huh.
super high up on the series. It's been more of a periphery thing for me. But
Mm-hmm.
well, like a lot of us knew it's like okay, the series is gonna make the most sense to get into Smash Next from Namco. It's Tekken. Tails is like the other ones, like it was Tekken and Tails. And when we heard that they said like, oh yeah, Heihachi would be hard to do, it's like okay, so it's Tails. Especially when we got the Heihachi Me costume, which speaking of, we got the Heihachi Me costume with Min Min in Fighters Pass 2. And then we're getting a Tekken character in Fighters Pass 2. I'm confused by this. Part of me wonders,
Yeah.
was Kazuya originally going to be in Fighters Pass 2? Or was he added in later? Did they have something that they had to drop? And it's like, wait, what can we do with the less amount of time we have? Tekken? Because it's just weird to me. Because this is the first time we've had a third party Mii costume from a series, and then a character from that series becomes DLC later on. This is the first time it's happened. It's very strange. It makes you wonder: is everything back on the table again? What the fuck? We just got a Shantae. We just got a Shantae Mii costume. Can we get Shantae? Speaking of the Shantae Mii costume, fuck yeah! We got Shantae, Dante, the Dragonborn, the Return of the Lloyd costume. Just the four of them. What?
Yeah.
Like we could.
I think it's funny too.
Nightmare would have been amazing. So would Klonoa. I was really hoping for both of them.
Me too. And we didn't get enough Tekken costumes either, but just that Heihachi from the previous wave was just bizarre. Thought we would have gotten Mokujin or whatever.
But Mokujin would have made a lot of sense. And I was also kind of expecting
King. But yeah.
Because King would have been super easy. Because it's just like, alright, it's just a cheetah head and then you're good. Done.
Yeah. King, Mokujin, probably like Harang or something. Whatever.
Paul with his hair.
We'll see. Yep. Lars.
Jack would have been easy.
Yep, we don't have a Mii costume that just blows up. So that would be useful.
Kazuya himself in Tekken doesn't really speak to me that much. I'm happy for the Tekken fans. Classic fighting game fans got another great representative. Smash has been really good for you guys. With Ryu, with Terry, with Kazuya. It makes me wonder, like, what is the next biggest fighting game to get into Smash?
Too. Yeah.
Who? Oh, no, I wasn't counting King because Ryu already counted for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
But it's like for other franchises, like what is left here? We've got Virtua Fighter, we've got Soul Calibur, Guilty Gear, and Blast Blue.
Samurai Showdown. Art of Fighting.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I feel like those ones are already kind of like just like rolled in with King of Fighters and
True.
Terry. Mortal Kombat, but I doubt that'll ever happen since those games do not release in Japan.
Yeah,
Darkstalkers, but that series is dead.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. That's actually a fair point. We get Spinal, the skeleton. I don't know if there's like an actual main character ish for Killer Instinct. I would guess from the minimal characters I know of, that Fulgore would probably be our one. But I'm not familiar with the characters enough to really guess that.
Nor am I.
But it's like, who next?
Yeah, no. I think maybe go Arc System Works, go Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear or Blast Blue. I could see either or. I'm not sure like if one of them is more popular or more successful than the other. I don't know. They're kind of just like both on the same level for me because I'm not familiar with their company.
Right. Still, yeah, it's interesting, and we talked about this over chat too. Hello. Where that's my dog. He's letting himself outside.
Oh.
So yeah, and he said hello as well. Yes.
Well, impressed.
So we've kind of had this because Sonic transferred over into Smash 4. We've begun having this veterans affair with returning veterans in Smash, so we can say Sonic returned, and now of course everyone is here for Ultimate.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. Smash 6, there will clearly be cuts. Sakurai has said before the only reason Ultimate could have everyone is here is because the models are only minor upgrades from Smash 4. Yeah, that's
true. That's true.
Yep. Nintendo, just like in that Kazuya presentation, he's like, Masahiro, we need everyone is here.
He's just like,
but
do we have the budget? Talk to Square Enix, and then we'll have an answer. The budget depends on Square Enix says yes. Cloud.
Yeah. Good old Cloud. And then we got Sephiroth. They're like, yeah, we'll give you Cloud if you.
My theory is Square Enix only allowed Cloud to be base game on the guarantee of getting a second character to be DLC. That's my theory.
And they got two, so good for them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hero. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot about Hero.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, I think going into future games, we're not going to have every third party character return, especially not after Ultimate. Good
Yeah,
lord.
that's too many deals to make again and again and again. It's like
Exactly,
most
exactly.
most games that have like their guest characters. Generally speaking, those guest characters are in one game and then they're not in the next one. So usually how it goes. When Sonic came back for Smash 4, I was like, wow, really? Okay. I thought it was going to be,
Yeah,
alright, so we have Sonic and Snake and Brawl, and Smash 4 will have like Mega Man, Pac Man, and maybe somebody else, and then Smash 5 will have like this other group. But no.
yeah. They've created a monster because there's no way they're going to keep on growing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but well, in terms of numbers, they'll have more characters, of course. Um, since they've created this precedent, you can only imagine they're going to try and deal make for Smash Six.
Yeah.
So like Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac Man are solid. They represent such huge swaths of gaming iconicity and legacy that if you're keeping characters, you may as well keep the three of them.
I would throw Ryu in that pile as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. I saw them as an initial trio. Now I'm kind of saying, why can't we just keep Ryu, Terry, and Kazuya as another triumvirate?
I mean, you
Just say,
definitely
oh,
can.
these are the three big fighting game characters. Because Ryu, Capcom will say yes to Ryu in anything.
Pretty
Um,
much.
anything. You get Ryu on like bananas stickers at Walmart. So
I
they
mean,
had Donkey Kong banana stickers too
Final
one time.
Fantasy had to deal with cup noodles.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Oh,
you bring up
good old.
Smash Six, and
Mhm.
like every Smash fan wants all the characters to return, or at least they want as many as possible. There might be a few characters that
Yeah,
like some of us don't really care about, but generally speaking, the community as a whole wants everybody to come back. I don't know who you're whispering.
Wii Fit Train.
Wait, the trainer, yeah. But so a lot of times we've been wondering, like, okay, the feasibility of that is pretty low. So what is Smash going to do next? And I've told it the idea where we talked about this, like Smash trying to kind of reinvent itself in a way, uh, smaller roster, pare things back a bit, but more of a focus on rebuilding what is Smash. And I think we might have a sneak peek of that now with Kazuya.
Really?
Kazuya has, his traditional, there's the four specials, you get your normals, your smashes, your aerials, and whatnot. But he also has a fuck ton of command inputs for a variety of different attacks. So I'm kind of wondering
Really?
now, what if the next Smash game is like has two different battle styles? There's simple, which is the Smash we know today, and then there's complex, which is the Smash we know today, but with every character having classic fighting game command inputs. Giving everybody a whole bunch of new attacks. This gives them new ways to make all the characters represent even more from their franchises. Characters like Mario and Samus, who have been stagnant in Smash for
Hmm.
years, finally get a chance to get some new life in them. some
Yeah,
some new ways to actually be like, oh wow, yeah, this feels like the character. Awesome. Ganondorf can actually utilize his sword in more ways.
yeah.
You can give Link some of his different equipment from the various
Mhm.
games. Maybe he'll bring out the Megaton hammer. I
Oh,
think that could be something that they use to revitalize Smash, push it in a new direction. And if they are able to do uh, two different modes here, then they can do like the more complex things for all the new people, all try and get traditional fighting game people into because it's got what they're used to. But also you have the more simple mode for those of us plebeians who are shit with command inputs, and we just want to
hmm
play old school classic Smash. I think this is
hmm
a possibility. It would open up
Yeah.
so many new doors. Unfortunately, it's going to make every character that much harder because not only will they have their smash attacks, their grabs, their aerials, but they'll also have quarter circle forward and whatever else. But it could be
hmm
crazy, and
Could be.
It's a very interesting idea, and if that ever happens, I'm gonna cry because of Smashtopia is gonna be like, oh god, oh god, oh fuck, oh god, oh no.
Yeah, we're gonna be in our 40s revitalizing the wiki.
I tell you right now, I ain't doing it. I'll keep it the simple mode. Fuck that. It's
Hmm.
like how we don't write. It's like how when we do our stuff, we don't come up with smashes and everything. We just do the specials and call it a day. We
There
ain't
was
got
that
time for
brief
that.
period in Mercurius when we did, and
Yeah, and
then
it was
DK
hell.
was like, "Screw that."
Yeah, we were all
Hmm.
like, screw that. But
Rebooted it for the 6th time.
yeah, it's just. Is it likely? No, but I think
Hmm.
it's an interesting possibility.
It's a great idea, and that could be something that helps to temper fan reaction when they're like, "Oh yeah, well, we're calling the roster back to 40, but yeah,
But hey, Samus fights more like Samus. We gave her
yeah,
melee counter as a command input.
yeah." Whatever characters remain in a setup like that, they are truly the best of the best. Then,
Yeah,
like creme de la creme.
because
That'll
like
be interesting to
Kazuya
see.
in Ultimate is like the equivalent to Dante in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because Dante has more special moves than anybody in that game, and they give him like almost all of his weapons and abilities. And then Kazuya
Yeah,
is just like, oh, so Kazuya, you have like 57 different moves that you can do in Tekken. Okay, we can do that. Where
even
were
putting it in a taunt.
Ryu and Terry are just like, bitch, what the fuck? Where's
Uh
our moves?
huh.
But
Maybe in the next match then.
I also love that like all his devil stuff is related to the special button. That's really good. I
Hmm.
like that a lot.
Hmm.
Which,
Keeps it from being a gimmick.
speaking of the devil gene, we've talked before about Tekken and who we thought could be a character, and I had kind of been before like Heikachi is kind of a boring choice. Like I understand him
Hmm.
being the choice because he's like the face of the franchise, but I had thought with the devil gene, why not go with Jin? And apparently, when I was saying this, yeah, I combined Kazuya and Jin as characters into one thought because I thought Jin was Heihachi's kid, and then as I'm watching this with Kazuya, because when Kazuya was released before time, I was like, wait, Kazuya? Huh? And wait, Devil? I thought Jin had the Devil gene. Apparently, they both exist as characters. Again, I don't know Tekken very well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sorry. But, so I give myself like a quarter credit there. But,
Hmm.
because like, I think that's a much more interesting way to do it. Like, with third party franchises, you really have to do like the main character or a main character. Like Tekken, you really could do any of the three Mishimas and you have your good choice. But but like King or Yoshimitsu or Anna, none of them really would have been the Tekken choice. I've seen some people say,
Hmm.
"Oh, we'll do Yoshimitsu to represent both Tekken and Soul Calibur." Okay, but what does Yoshimitsu have to do with the stories of either of those games? He's a side character in both. They're not going to
He's
use
like,
him to
"I'm
represent
here."
both. They're going to do a Mishima, and then Soul Calibur will be either Siegfried or Nightmare, and it's probably going to be Nightmare. Outside chance of Sophitia,
Hmm.
but beyond them, that's who it would be. They're not going to do
Yeah,
Yoshimitsu for that. It's like for Street
they're gonna
Fighter,
do Voldo.
it, for Street Fighter, they're not going to do Chun Li before Ryu. That's not happening.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
Chun
um,
Li is a solid chance. Not an ultimate anymore, I don't think, but
but for the next
down the
match, I
line.
could see it.
Hmm. Hmm.
It also depends again, like on if they're going to try and keep everyone around. Like if we're trying to get Ultimate 2 and we're just adding things, then Chun Li has a pretty good shot. But if we're pairing characters back, I don't think Chun Li has a shot. Maybe in like
Agreed.
a DLC round, maybe. And it will also depend if they keep both Ryu and Kin. If they drop Kin, then I think
Yeah.
Chun Li has a window. But if it's Ryu and Kin are already in, then I don't think she's gonna make it. Smash is just that there's too many things to pull from for Smash. It's one thing when you're
Hmm.
doing Capcom versus whatever, and half the roster is Capcom. Then yeah, Chun Li's
Hmm.
in. But with Smash,
Yeah.
it's a lot
Yeah.
harder to
Yeah.
sell.
True. True. I thought she had a decent chance even for DLC here and was just kind of under the radar, but Kazuya kind of killed that because I think we're not getting more than one traditional fighting character per pass.
I never
It
saw
would
she
be
had a
kind of
chance.
funny. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just so much from Capcom. Then again, I thought Dante would have a really solid chance, and here we are.
Here we are. But hey, that meat costume does look pretty good.
Yeah, it does. You know what's funny is because of the ESRB rating system, how all the M-rated titles when they have Misa now, so like, oh
Smash
yes,
X Dante instead of Smash X Devil
Smash
May
X
Cry.
Dragon Ball. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
We all
the
know where it's
ESRB
fucking
is
from.
weird. They're
Uh-huh.
God. It's like they're from the
Well,
Midwest,
yeah, yeah.
which I can say because I'm from the Midwest.
Uh-huh. And the CERO is not that great either, as Sakurai's laments have always shown with
Yeah, that's why we
yeah,
lost
censoring Tharja.
my.
Oh yeah. That too.
I don't. Tharia wasn't because of Sero. Tharia was ESRB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
her trophy was part of the ESRB league.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's what Smash is for good girls and boys, they say.
Uh huh. No legs allowed. Oh, sorry, Chun Li.
Nope.
You're out.
It's a good thing Min Min is from ARMS.
Ah.
So,
All right. So, I don't really have much to say about Kazuya himself. Like, he's kind of hard to use for me because again, I don't do command inputs, but he's
mhm.
kind of interesting. I don't have much to say about him beyond that, but his stage is pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah,
I really like what they've done collectively with Ryu, Terry, and Kazuya's fighting game stages. Because Ryu's stage, Suzaku Castle, is the background of his stage from Street Fighter
yeah,
2. It's like you're fighting
yeah,
in his background, like, that's a really cool idea. And then you have Terry's, which has walls on the sides, and you have to be hit with enough damage to be sent flying past the wall, which is crazy cool. Because typically in those games, you hit the wall, you just bounce off of it, because you're not trying to knock your opponents out of a ring, you're just trying to whittle their HP down. And then the Mishima Dojo. Oh god, the fruit stripe gums. Yeah, I used to have that all the time as a kid. The
they
Mishima
suck.
Dojo. It starts out as an enclosed space, walls, roof,
Hmm.
but they can be damaged, and it's not too hard to damage them. And you have to break the walls before you can send opponents flying, and that's really cool as well. I love what they're
Hmm.
doing with these stages. Not every DLC stage has been a walk or has been like a great stage. Spiral Mountain could have been better. It was okay, but it could have been better.
Garreg Mach sucks.
Garreg Mach is awful. Mementos is
Hmm.
cool, but get rid of the moving wall. Jesus
Hmm.
Christ, get rid of that. And Idris the
Yeah.
Ulster feels a little too wide to me. It feels
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
condensed that just a little bit.
Hmm.
But
Um,
it's a really cool idea for a stage, and I appreciate it.
yeah. What I like too about Mishima Dojo is when you're playing as Kazuya on that stage,
Hmm.
you can like you engage an opponent in a grab, it goes into like that Tekken style
Mm.
where it zooms in on Kazuya,
It does that
throwing
in
them. It
any
looks like a
one.
3D.
It does that in just 1v1s in general with Kazuya.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sakurai mentioned that.
Interesting. Nice. Nice. That's a really interesting touch.
Hmm.
Um, and then so yeah, that's pretty cool. Then you still got Heihachi.
Yeah.
He's just chilling.
Also,
Um,
there's a glitch. There's a glitch.
really?
Sakurai said that if you had the Heihachi Mi, then his spirit battle should be the actual Heihachi costume. Well, I fought the Heihachi spirit battle, and it wasn't. So what the fuck? It was the Mi fighter wearing the dragon horns, which is what it is if you don't have the Heihachi Mi. But I have it, so what? Like I have the fighter's pass, so I'm
Oh, you're
confused.
the American Sakurai, so you should tell the Japanese Sakurai what's up.
I don't think that's how it goes.
Oh, okay, okay. Throw him over a volcano then. Um,
Or somebody in a volcano.
um, yeah, I like something that Sakurai does. You get a character from a traditional fighting game. You're like, oh, well, that's cool. I think it was pretty cool with Ryu because it was the first time it happened.
Hmm.
Then you get Terry, you're like, oh, okay, and Kazuya, you're like, oh, okay. And initial knee-jerk reaction for a lot of Smash fans is, why would you want to play as traditional fighting game characters in a non-traditional fighting game? Why are we wasting slots on this? Blah, 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 blah. And Sakurai always makes a point to develop above expectation with these characters.
Mm.
Um, Terry is really fun to play as. He may still be my best character from the DLC. Um, and
Pyramid
Kazuya, I
also.
mean, you fish that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They fit my
Pyra
style
is
the
OP,
best.
man. That's great. Cool. And then Kazuya too. He's a rush down melee kind of character. And I mean, I play that type of character loosely. I mean, with Marth and Ike, Ganondorf. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump into that fighting game, Shoto-esque. In Kazuya's case, not Shoto.
Not a show.
Um, hmm um, so it's fun to play as Kazuya, and I could see semi maining him, playing him fairly often, just not as much as other characters. Um, I like him. I like him. There's again, I was baffled by his introduction as well.
Yeah. But my
You know,
real
thinking,
bafflement was really just because I had crossed Tekken off the list when we got a Heihachi B. I
hmm
was like, okay, well, there's our Tekken. But
mine too.
I
That and I
was,
had assumed we'd get Jin or Keihachi, but yeah.
yeah,
hmm but that's coming from again a plebeian, not
yeah,
knowing much about Tekken, knowing that Kazuya is just as important as Heihachi and Jin, um, and was conceived both chronologically in game and out of game
yeah.
before Jin. So yeah, interesting enough.
From my view of the series and watching Maximilian Dude's videos, it does kind of feel like Kazuya is more. While Heihachi is the face of the series, he kind of feels more like he's the actual protagonist, kind of.
Mhm.
It's like him and
You follow
Heihachi,
more of his
and then
journey.
Jin is like a step below them.
hmm
But it's really just
You,
about the Mishima family in general. That's the
hmm
story of Tekken.
Yeah, and they're whatever. They're Zybots.
The Mishima
Um,
Zaibatsu is the name of the company.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they had the Tekken
Um,
Force soldiers, which is like, really? Okay. I feel like you didn't need to shoehorn the name in there, dude, but alright.
yeah. Super cheesy, just like all fighting games are pretty much.
But
Um,
like now that we have
yeah.
Kazuya, I have to wonder like, okay, there's one slot left.
hmm
How are we ending this
And
thing?
we got 39 music tracks, including the yodeling
We
one.
did,
So.
yeah. It's like what? We have
That's what I like
Yodelay
about these
in
fighting game
Smash
characters. They're
Bros. What
the
the fuck?
fighting that's very generous. I mean, Terry was crazy with the music tracks
Yeah.
and
SK,
Tekken. So
SNK is like,
I
you want our whole library? Okay.
mhm.
It's like,
And you can kind of see that. So the companies that are easiest to work with, I mean, they're giving and giving and giving. So like Terry, Simon, and Kazuya, the rights will not be hard to get them back if they want them.
Ryu as well.
Simon, I'm assuming he will be. Yeah,
Street
Ryu as
Fighter,
well.
while like 90% of the Street Fighter music is Street Fighter 2, actually is all of it, they still gave like a bunch of music.
Yeah. Well, Capcom leaned hard into Street Fighter 2 and still has,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you know it's the competitive scene. It's like if Nintendo just constantly re-released Melee, you know. But the Melee fans would not like that. So it's like
No,
if I'm not
they
playing on this,
Melee
yeah,
fans would hate. See, Melee fans always talk about how they want Melee HD, but they would not like it because it's going to
hmm
take out their wave dashing. It's going to come with a whole bunch of different balance changes. They're not going to be happy with the Melee HD.
no.
Now,
And then
if
Nintendo would,
we still have like
yeah,
a virtual console type thing, and they just did Melee on a virtual console, I was like, okay, here's your classic Melee. But a Melee HD on Switch, it's not going to be what Melee fans want.
yeah, precisely. But as you say, as you were saying, there's one slot left.
There's one slot left, and we're getting them this year. So,
Uh-huh.
just like originally we were told by February 2022, but Sakurai has said this year. We're getting them this year.
All those extra months are like, shit, Steve, it's taking so long. It might be until February of 2022.
And I feel like Steve and Kazuya and maybe Pyramid, all three of them kind of took some time. Sephiroth is a more simple character. Min Min also had her complexities. But
hmm
Steve was definitely part of the why they gave
The
such a long
lion's
time. And I
share.
think also they just gave themselves extra time because of COVID. They wanted to make sure they
True.
had
Yeah.
enough time.
Yeah, and Sakura did say the team is finishing up at home,
Yep.
not even going back into the office.
Yep.
That's crazy. And, you know, so safe enough, safe enough. You don't know what's going on in the world in a couple months, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So there's one more left, and it's difficult to say who it'll be.
Yeah.
Um,
After each character, we've tried to give some predictions on who we think it can be, and each time we've been wrong. But it's fun.
dude,
It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. Would never have guessed Pyro and Mythra in a million years. Would never have guessed Kazuya in 2 million years.
Would
Would never have
never get
guessed Sephiroth
Sephiroth.
ever, ever,
Ever.
ever.
I
And we
would have
got, and you
guessed
know, that's
Tifa before
cool.
Sephiroth.
Oh man, you know what, Sephiroth and Banjo are kind of our two megaton reveals. Like holy shit, and then everything else, you know, that's
Honestly,
cool.
I think Steve was more of a Megaton reveal for me. Mostly because, well, I'm not a Minecraft person. I had been lobbying
Really?
for Steve before Ultimate released, and you know this. You know that I was hardcore. Going like, no, guys, Steve can work in Smash easily. Well, not programming
Hmm.
wise, because holy shit. But like
Yeah,
everybody on the
Steve's one
internet
of those
was just like,
characters who will not
Steve was a
mature.
character that if you brought him up in a Smash community, you would just turn whatever conversation was happening, everything would become all about Steve, and it would be a fucking war. But I've just been like,
They will.
guys,
Yeah.
Steve in Smash, this can happen. So it
Hmm.
felt like
Hmm.
vindication when it did, because I personally don't give a fuck about Minecraft. You know, I can play
Yeah.
it, but I'm not going to stick with it for very long. It's not my kind of game. I'm not a sandbox game player. Similarly, Animal Crossing, I can't play it for long. Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, any of these
Yeah.
games, I just can't. But I was just like, fuck yeah, Steve is in. Fuck all y'all.
Uh huh. The subtle thought that it might be Gino at first was a bit much, but and we had waited so long. There was such a huge window of time between Min Min and Steve's release. Um, all the same, Gino get maybe Gino will be our final character. There's still hope in our little hearts. Not really.
No, there's not.
Um, but yeah, I guess
Anywho, final character.
yeah.
Let's get into this.
Yeah, yeah. What are you thinking?
So, I don't know if you. We discussed that we wanted to do this. I don't know if you did the same thing I did. But I created two listed top five characters. Listed top five first party characters and a list of top five third parties. And when I was going through trying to come up with who I thought could be possible, I had a couple criteria in mind. And this comes from some conversations that I've heard while watching Source Gaming videos. They've mentioned before that Nintendo has been they like throwing in characters that are recent. Now, not every DLC character has been a character with a recent game or just recent existence. Bayonetta, even though she ended Smash 4, or not, she didn't end Smash 4, Corrin ended Smash 4, that's right. Bayonetta was a 6-year-old character by the time she got into Smash. Similarly,
Mhm.
Banjo Kazooie, their last game was Banjo Kazooie 3 Nuts and Bolts on what 360? I think it was on 360, and
And it was
it
not
was
well
hated. It was hated, but Banjo got into Smash as DLC. But it was pointed out that Corrin and Byleth, Corrin who ended Smash 4 DLC, Byleth who ended the first Fighters Pass, both of them were characters who had very recent games and existences with Nintendo. So I'm thinking, okay, let's think about this here. Assuming that Nintendo does want to end the Fighters Pass, not necessarily with a Big Bang character, but with a recent character, or at least a character who recently had a game in their franchise, that can make a lot of sense because it helps keep the roster feel new and fresh. So I'm like, okay,
yeah.
let's look at characters who either were introduced on the Switch or have a game on the Switch, whether it's a new game or a port. And that's
Hmm.
where I went with my lists, really.
Interesting. Okay. Most intriguing. I loosely followed the same idea. I have 5 characters in first party and 5 characters in third party. We'll just kind of see where the chips fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
do we want to start with third party, or do you want to do like our fifth for both first and third at the same time, or?
I think it'd be pretty decent. I think to go with the fifth in each maybe,
Okay.
and just kind
So
of work from there.
so I'll cover my fifth for first party and third party, and then we'll see what yours are. And like
Okay.
these are going to be like fairly quick rundowns until we get to like our top picks.
Mm-hmm.
But my fifth for Nintendo is Bandana D. Kirby hasn't had a fighter since Brawl. He is the next most quote unquote big or requested character from the Kirby series. He's been the usual fourth player in addition to Kirby Meta Knight and King Dedede. Star Allies is on the Switch. He just kind of makes sense in that regard. He's not something I personally am excited for, but I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
For third party, this is going to be a shocker for you. Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Odyssey is on the Switch.
What? The...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah,
as a
Odyssey is on the
cloud
Switch,
game.
and so is Assassin's Creed 3. But Cassandra, like Odyssey is a fucking good game. I watched Way of Trail do his stream of the game, and it was really solid. I think Cassandra is
Yeah.
probably popular enough. It's not counting. I mean, it's now the second most recent game, but I imagine when Valhalla would have been too new when DLC was being worked on for Smash. Cassandra's pretty fun. I could see it being her, and maybe she comes with Alexios as like a
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Alex type of thing. But and you know, Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed is a huge series, and a lot of the DLC characters have been like these huge things, and I think Assassin's Creed fits that banner. There's been no third party character that's
Interesting.
gotten in that's from that's a small deal. Banjo's like the
Right.
smallest deal of all the third party characters.
Yeah. Yeah. And yet the biggest deal to a lot of Smash
Exactly. Like
fans.
he's like
Funny
a
how it works.
special exception.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. My number fives
Mhm.
for my first party choice. It is. Bear with me here. DJ Octavio.
All right, what's your real one?
Octoling.
Okay.
It kind of just writes itself. Octolings are there's enough weapons in Splatoon to go around. They had their whole Octopass expansion. There's room here. With Splatoon 3 coming out as well. Speaking of recency, if they tie it in with some Splatoon 3 announcement, poetically end Smash with how it started, with the Inkling reveal to the Octoling.
True. That'd be a great
Uh-huh.
bookend.
I think it could very well happen. Third party. I'm going to get it out of the way now because I already know it's not going to happen. Amaterasu.
I mean, hey, Capcom. Capcom is hard to pick reps from because Capcom has so many good choices.
Exactly. The only other one that comes to mind is Phoenix, and he may show up on this list yet.
All right.
Because Dante has been expended as a Mii costume this late in the game. It's not going to happen as the next thing. Chun-Li, no more fighting game characters. Jill or Leon or Chris or Claire or whatever. We had the Resident Evil Spirit board, and there's been that rumor going around that they
Claire's
just
not a
couldn't make it
spirit
work.
though. Claire isn't a spirit.
Yeah,
It's
that would be
Chris,
so interesting.
Leon,
Yeah.
Jill, and Wesker.
Okay. That's so interesting because Claire is. I mean, she was only in
We'll
Resident
get
Evil
Lady
2.
Dimitrescu.
Yeah. Oh my god. What a way to end the fucking game. Better than Bowsette. So. God, sorry, my memories of 2019 are coming back to me.
Nintendo
Yeah,
absolutely regrets Peach's existence. There's no fucking way they don't.
So Amaterasu is just kind of almost by default because Capcom has expended all of their resources and their major choices except for her and Phoenix. So I said, fuck it. Let's just
fair.
do it because I want it, and I'm going to pretend that it's going to happen until it doesn't.
That's fair.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And
my number 4 is for the first party site. Again, it's not a character I want, but
Mm-hmm.
it's Captain Toad. First of all, there's a fuck ton of Mario games on the Switch, and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker's on Switch as well. He even appears in Mario Odyssey, and while there were a lot of other Mario characters I was debating between, and there will be more Mario characters in this top five, because Mario is just something that like you can easily pull from. But Captain Toad has more uniqueness to him than what other Mario characters might, and there's a lot more what immediate that you can do with him. There's something that you look at him, it's like you have your own unique shit. That's while we love Waluigi, when you look at Waluigi, you look at Captain Toad, you just like as a base glance at the characters, you see more potential with Captain Toad. It's there. I don't like it, but it's there. For the third party side of things, I have Arl from Puyo Puyo. And there's Puyo Puyo on Switch. I'm pretty sure there's multiple of them. It's not a character I like give a shit about, but I believe Puyo Puyo is fairly popular in Japan. Arl herself, and it'd be another Sega rep. So I can see the possibility.
Yeah, I can too. Okay, so for me, my first party choice for number 4 is Dixie Kong.
Okay.
One of the last big legacy characters really left. When you think of the legacy characters who've made it in so far, your Mario's, your Bowser's, your Donkey Kong's, whatever. There's not a whole lot left to go around. It would be a respectable way to end it if we're leaving with a first party. And if the new Donkey Kong game ties in with it too, there's recency. Also a good way to avoid her being an echo.
True. I had considered both her and also Octoling, who you previously mentioned, but both of them didn't make my list because I was thinking they're going to be too much like a semi-clone of Inkling and Diddy, and I just don't see Sakurai doing that for DLC. Dixie was actually she almost made the 5th slot, but Bandanity took it at the end because of that reasoning.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair. Third party, number 4, Ryu Hayabusa. We've talked about Hayabusa constantly on this podcast.
Yeah.
Mostly thanks to me and my ramblings. So it's pretty much all been said and done before. Where Tecmo, Koei, or one of those Koei Tecmo rather, one of those last few companies that have majorly supported Nintendo over the years that does not have a character represented in Smash. Hayabusa is a legacy character, as we were talking about. Someone like Simon Belmont, who has been around and been a major supporting series for Nintendo for decades, like almost 40 years at this rate. So his choice is about as good as a lot of other characters, but again, this is like my 4th slot. So I'm kind of feeling this theme where I went with solid chance, I think. Not necessarily the most exciting characters for a lot of fans, but respectable because of their history. Okay, that's that.
All right, so my number 3 is for the first part side. We're going back to another Mario character because again, like Mario is the biggest thing for Nintendo, so it just feels super easy. They can do like Piranha Plant, but this one is a character that I had seen other people like wanting in other communities. But when I looked at him, I was just like, "You're crazy! No, that's character would not. Why would they put this character in? It's stupid." But when I was building this, I was like, you know what? Hold on, I can kind of see it because Luigi's Mansion 3 is a thing, and people like it. So what about King Boo?
Wow. This is going all sorts of directions.
It's an odd one to think about, but think about it. It's an odd possibility.
I'm a fan of King Boo being in Smash. I'm for that. All right. I have nothing to say what's wrong about that.
Third party wise, you said we're probably not going to get another fighting character. There is one that I think we could get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Ryu Hayabusa. Not only is he Ninja Gaiden, but he's also one of the main supporting. He's a player in the Dead or Alive games. Kasumi is the main character, but Ryu I think is also like one of the top characters. I'm not entirely
He's
sure.
major, yeah.
I've only played Dead or Alive Dimensions, which is not great. But like pretty much everything you've already said, he's a legacy character for Nintendo, legacy character for gaming, and he really fits an archetype that isn't really hit yet in Smash. And he is again one of those few old school big namers that's not in yet. So
hmm Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. My number three is actually a Mario character as well. Again, um, this one is also a character that you would say, I don't know how they're going to work in Smash. Say, oh, it might be simple if they pull items from their legacy title they're a part of, as well as their more recent appearances. Maybe for some reason they could even involve a hat mechanic. Pauline.
Pauline was on my short list.
There
Because I
you
had a
go.
list of 10 first party characters. I had a much larger list of third parties. Pauline was on my list of 10 characters for the Nintendo All Star on the debate between.
Excellent. Excellent. And my number three for third parties is Phoenix Wright.
Okay.
He could, if there's a surprise character, it could very well just be him objecting to the final character, as people have often retorted, which would be great. But just enjoy. I think at this point he's honestly probably Capcom's best chance of getting a character.
Imagine the trailer
Um,
starts off with a letter being pulled out of a mailbox. You see a gloved hand, and then a purple sleeve, and it's
mhm.
Waluigi. But then Phoenix shouts objection, and the letter becomes his.
Oh my god, I would hate that so much and also love it.
I mean,
uh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
all right. I'm surprised you had him above Hayabusa though. Like I would have expected the opposite.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of. It's not that I don't know. They're kind of neck and neck. The only reason why I put him above Hayabusa is because it's odd to me that Capcom hasn't gotten a character yet.
Fair, fair.
Pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, back to my number twos. My number two for Nintendo is another Mario character. The last Mario character though on this side of the aisle though. This one is a character that we both want, but we want them in a specific way. Paper Mario. Forget Origami King, forget Color Splash, forget Sticker Star. We want him to represent his original games. Yes, that
hmm
includes Super Paper Mario for you purists out there. It's still a good game. It's different, but
hmm
it's good. Now the other three,
hmm
that's. But I mean,
hmm
Origami King is on Switch, so Paper Mario is in it. As far as I'm concerned, he's a possible character, and I think he'd be relatively easy to make compared to some other characters. So,
Yeah, yeah.
my number two for third parties is a character. This is much like Koei Tecmo. This company has supported Nintendo. They've worked very closely with Nintendo in recent years, and they've got a few games on Switch. It's Rayman. We have two Rabbids crossovers with Mario. I don't think we have like an actual Rayman game on Switch, or at least not a new one.
hmm
But I'm counting the Mario plus Rabbids game as a Rayman title because they're connected. And he had a trophy in Smash Four.
hmm
What? But he's not in Smash 4 or Ultimate. What the fuck? Get him in.
hmm hmm Cool. My number two for first parties is
Mm,
an idea that you had recently, or rather that you shared. Let me pull back onto our little Discord chat here. I'm going to try and quickly
doesn't even
find
have
it.
his shit
Oh,
prepared.
it was a Game Explain video actually. Okay. Um, for the four
Oh,
champions.
right.
Yeah, from of course Breath of the Wild. So, you have your Rivali, your Daruk, your Urbosa, your Mifa,
Best
and
character.
yeah, yep, all representing different portions of Breath of the Wild, the
Not just Breath of the Wild, but
biggest
Zelda
selling.
history
Yeah,
with all the different
yeah,
races.
with all their different. Yeah, that's very right. That's very true. I didn't know how this idea would work out at first, but seeing how each character would contribute to the move set, and through that video that you'd shared, and I guess I'll link it in the description so people know what I'm talking about. I think it could work, and I am a fan of it. At this point, obviously, it's not going to be Skull Kid or Midna or whatever. If we get an assist trophy renovation, it's Waluigi, and Waluigi's not happening.
Yeah.
So, um, given that all these great choices have already been taken, I mean, you got Impa, you got Tingle, you have the 4 champions.
Yeah. I
Tingle's not going to happen,
I
and
considered
then
Impa,
Impa.
but then I realized, oh wait, Breath of the Wild Impa, or rather Age of Calamity Impa, got a spirit. So
Age of Calamity Impa would be great, but it's not
yeah,
happening. Yeah.
she probably would have been on
Um,
my top 5 if she wasn't already a spirit.
Yeah, I
I,
guess it could be that little guardian, the baby guardian in Age of
it
Calamity,
also
but
has
I'm
a
just not
spirit.
that interested. Okay, okay. Um, yeah.
I also consider the Hyrule Champions, but the reason why they didn't make my cut is
Mhm.
because I felt like it's one thing doing Pyra and Mithra, but
Yeah.
having to do all 4 characters of the champions is sure it's one slot, but that's still 4 complete characters to for DLC. No fucking way. I feel like that's too much work. Now for the
We'll
next
see.
Smash, sure, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
happening here.
we'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
My number two. This is another company like Koei Tecmo who's supported Nintendo. They've been in a legacy character like Ryu Hayabusa, and in recent years, this company has worked very closely with Nintendo. Very, very closely. And this character, they even had a trophy in Smash,
Is it
and
Glow
it
Fox?
is absurd that they're not in it. Like, just get him in. It's fucking Rayman.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's mind-boggling that he is not
You're
in.
right. You're right. Like I personally don't care if you talk about Rayman. I don't play his games, but it's just really weird the relationship between these 2 companies and Rayman's Smash appearance as a trophy. It's like, why isn't he in? It's
Yeah,
weird.
I can't imagine that at this point a technical aspect like the floating limb should keep them from it.
Yeah,
We
like
just
back
got we
during
just, we
Melee,
just
I
too
would
far.
believe that, but at this point, come on, come on.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, well that leaves our number ones.
All right, number ones. I'm gonna start with the third party here, and before I
Okay,
start with the third party, I'm gonna give an honorable mention. A character who I don't think is going to be in DLC at this point, but I do think if they were wanting to maximize hype and marketing for a final character, there is one singular best choice. That's Master Chief. Because his
hmm
tagline, because not only is Master Chief like a huge character for gaming, for Xbox, for shooter fans, he is just monumentally important to the gaming world. A lot of people are going to know he's a well known name out there. But also there's his tagline: Master Chief finishes the fight. There you
uh,
fucking go. It's done. It's
uh-huh,
right there.
uh-huh.
But unfortunately, he's not making my list because at this point, I don't think we're getting him for the Smash Brothers game. Maybe the next one.
Yeah.
But my number one is a character that I have bias towards. And it's a character from Capcom, so you already know who it is probably. It's Mega Man .exe. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's Phoenix Wright.
Mhm.
Phoenix, I don't know. Like we got the original trilogy on Switch as a collection. We're getting the Great Ace Attorney duology finally coming to North America, and it's coming to Switch. We don't have the Apollo Justice games, but whatever. But Phoenix Wright, I don't know. I've been getting a weird feeling about Phoenix because he feels like a character that if he wasn't going to get in, he would have a me costume.
Because- Yeah.
But we've had nothing. It's just it feels weird to me. Like I just have this weird feeling that Phoenix is a good chance, and he could theoretically come with an Echo Fighter of Miles Edgeworth. Probably not, but
Yeah. Yeah.
theoretically, it's possible. I just have
Mm-hmm.
this feeling about Phoenix that he has a shot. But
Yeah.
while he is my number one predicted character for third parties, he's not my number one overall. That goes
Yeah.
to my first parties, which is why I started with third parties. My number one prediction for the final slot of DLC is a Pokemon. Now, did I cheat here and not say a specific character? You're goddamn right I did. Because there's over 900 of these fuckers. Give me a goddamn break. Now, specifically, I will say that I think it's going to be either a Generation 8 Pokemon or a Generation 4 Pokemon or one of the three starters from Arceus Legends. Because that just makes most
Mm-hmm.
sense to me. These are the three things that are recent. It makes sense. And I have a list of 10 that I think are the most likely Pokemon that we're going to get. Gen 8 wise, you have Toxtricity, who we've talked about in a previous episode. You have Rillaboom, Inteleon, Obstagoon, Surfetch'd, and the most recent Pokemon, Calyrex, who, while he is weird, I can see them doing something with Spectrier and Glasstrier, his two legendary steeds.
Mounted fighter.
Yeah, maybe. Or at least for like the final smash, it comes in like maybe some half his costumes have Spectrier come in for the final smash, and the other half his costumes have Glasstrier come in for his final smash. I think that's a
Yeah.
winner.
Mm-hmm.
For Generation 4 Pokemon, I only really see two choices that really stand out to me as possibilities. Those being Garchomp, a pseudo legendary, a dragon type, and a champion's ace Pokemon, which we don't have any of those three things in Smash yet, as well as a ground
Be
type. We don't have a
cool.
ground type in Smash. And Rotom, who I've talked about a little bit on the
Oh yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
would have the dynamic changing of being able to go into different forms. Like his neutral aerial could be a blasted wind with Fan Rotom. His dash attack could be mowing the lawn with Mill Rotom. His down special could be Wash Rotom, just like spewing out water as it opens its door. There's so much you can do there.
That
But
would be so cool. Yeah.
then also between the three starters from Arceus Legends, those being Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott, only one of them really stands out as a possible potential in entering into Smash, and that's Decidueye, who almost made it into base game. And
I
also,
fucking wish.
it's also been noted that for Fighters Pass 2, these characters have been characters that were either wanted by Sakurai at some point or have been in development for a long time. Uh, Arms. An Arms character was considered for Ultimate, but it was too new. Rex and Pyro were considered for Ultimate, too new. Sephiroth brought missing Final Fantasy content into Smash. Steve has been in the works for fucking years. Heihachi was considered in Smash 4, but now we got Kazuya. Decidueye would fit that same fucking pattern. Not that it's a pattern, but
Mm-hmm.
he'd fit like that same mentality. And not only that, but like
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is like again one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. It just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It would make the community go up in flames.
Yes.
The only thing worse would be a Fire Emblem character,
Yes.
but it would make sense.
It's gonna be Jagan.
It's it's gonna be Gatekeeper. Um, seeing yeah, I mean seeing the filth that is almost all the recent character, like most recent introductions to Smash chronologically according to the
Mm-hmm.
games being Fire Emblem and Pokemon is just
Yeah,
mind-boggling. But
because
I mean the likelihood,
that's
yeah.
something for the viewers back home. That's something I looked at recently as I went to see. Oops, that's the wrong thing. You don't need to see that. Wait, did that? Oh wait, no, that's not showing up. I'm what? I don't know what's happening. But I had recently gone to see like compared every character in Smash Brothers to see what their original release date was to what their release date in Smash was on when they were debuted, and like the whole top 10 was by far majority Fire Emblem and Pokemon. Like the only ones on the top 10 that weren't Fire Emblem and Pokemon were Lucas and Dark Pit. Everything else is Fire Emblem or Pokemon.
Hmm.
And Dark Pit was 2 years, 5 months, 22 days old from when Kid Icarus Uprising released to when Smash 4 released, and that's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
Roy
yeah,
doesn't count in the top 10 because his official game came after Melee, but it's nuts.
yeah, 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 yeah. It is.
And
It
Joker is
is.
the newest third party character because he only existed for 2 years, 7 months, and 2 days.
Hmm.
So
There you go. There you go. Um, so what I'll say before getting into my third party choice. I agree with you on Master Chief. As cool as it would be to happen, for starters, I mean, we already got a Microsoft character in this pass. Not that that counts for anything, but the old Smash fan voodoo of just trying to make up rules that don't necessarily exist is in play.
Yeah,
So I'll just
absolutely. It
stick
always
to it.
is.
Yeah. And it would be awesome though. I mean, talk about unity under these under the new rule of these companies. That would be the final getting the flagship character from Microsoft in their game. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I've had the thought recently, like, if we get it in Smash 6, say that Master Chief caps Spider Pass number 1 and we have 2. Um, how do you top that? You don't necessarily top it. You just make the impossible happen. So Fighter Pass 1 ends with Master Chief. Fighter Pass 2 ends with Kratos. Kratos. I don't even know.
Slays
I
the
don't even know what it.
competition.
Yeah, and then he would just show up, boy, and there you go. That's all you need. 100% damage. That would really be something. But
His trailer starts out
fantasies
with him
aside,
fighting Palutena and Ganondorf
there
and Shulk.
you go.
Spoilers.
Yeah, there you go. And Jigglypuff. Um, don't have time for that. So, another thing that I'll add, prefacing this, is if we're going to get a fourth party character, this is the bookend to do it. Not saying I want it, not saying it's likely. But they have the means. And I'm not saying it's my choice either.
Yeah,
I'm just
to
throwing it
your
out
choice.
there. But if they did Goku, this is the time to do it.
They're not.
And
No.
Namco has the possibility. Well, wait until it happens. Okay, yeah, my number one third party is not Master Chief or whatever. It is actually something that you touched on earlier, but a different character. It's Ezio.
Okay.
So kind of what you touched on with Cassandra. Her being more of the face of the new series, I think that her character really stuck with the RPG-esque Assassin's Creed games. Only reason I'm going Ezio is because he's the flagship character of the series, the most popular by far. As we covered in our Smashtopia, it was why I'm choosing it because it's just Smashtopia plug, clearly. No, and then Ubisoft in general. I feel like there's something in the wind for Ubisoft like you do for Phoenix. It's been a long time coming. And ending it with Assassin's Creed or Rayman would be as good as anything. Just do not
Do Aiden
let
Pierce
it
from
be a
Watch
fucking.
Dogs.
Oh, that would be worse than what I was going to say, which was a rabbit.
Oh.
Do not. They're like, it's Rabbit Peach.
Like, Rabbit Peach and his trivia would be really funny, and I would be down for that. But no rap play for Rabbit, please.
Please, God, no. Especially not before Rayman. What a slap in the face that would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my first party, I went with a Pokemon as well, but I didn't say a Pokemon. I went with a specific one, and I kind of just threw a dart at a board. I had my list in my mind, the Toxtricities of the world, the Calorexes, the Urshifus, whatever. Cinderace, which I could never bear to choose.
I don't think
for
it's got.
my please. Thank you, God. If it did, imagine.
You're welcome.
Decidueye would be so cool, and I wish I thought of that. But I wrote down Zacian.
Okay, he has a spirit, but okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Does he? Okay.
The three starters, the base forms of the stars, Zacian and Zamazenta, all have spirits, and more Pika.
Interesting. Weird. Okay. Well, say the spirit wasn't there.
You gotta do your
You
research.
have a yeah. Oh, I don't.
I know. That's why I said you got it.
But it's a dog with a sword. It works.
It's a really cool idea, honestly. Everyone's just like, we have too many sword fighters. Okay, but what about a sword fighter dog? Like, not a biped, like, it's a wolf with a sword in its mouth. Like, I don't know about you, but this is a really cool idea.
Exactly. Better than the Clifford Red live action movie they're making.
Ooh, boy,
Terrifying.
that looks terrifying. Yeah. Like, of course, it has to be CGI, but it's a scary.
But for the Bucks, we'll just kind of just casually change my vote to Decidueye.
Okay.
So that's
I'll
that.
accept that. And if I had to do like a number one Pokemon, like if I had to pick one,
Mhm.
I'm probably just gonna say Toxtricity.
I would love for it to be Toxtricity.
It's like
That would be
of all, ignoring the starters, ignoring the legendaries, Toxtricity feels like the standout Pokemon of Gen 8. And that's why I'm going with it.
Yeah. I mean, I love a punk Pokemon. Another Smashtopia episode we did. You should check that one out too.
With it. All right, though. E3 is gone. Kazuya is in. Our final predictions are in, with those predictions both being a Pokemon. Next up on the Supercast Brothers podcast, it's a thing. we're workshopping type. No, we're not. Hey, Smashtopia. We're gonna work on another character again, and just like last year, it is time to take an existing Smash character and make them more unique.
Yeah.
Take that.
Are you
take that dirty word clone and throw it in the trash. Because it's time for an upgrade, Doctor. And I hope you're ready.
are you down with the sickness?
No, I had my COVID vaccine actually.
Oh, well, you should try to put a magnet on your arm here that it sticks.
Oh, okay. I'll try that later.
I have one.
Maybe I might have
yeah.
results for you by the time we get to the next episode. So give
Okay.
me a couple weeks and I'm gonna have an update.
Okay. Okay. I wish you luck with Tonberry administering the test.
How long has he been there?
All this time, you haven't seen him.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, Chucky Finster administered my shot.
There you go. We'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
All right. See ya. Go have fun on the Zerda.